were 80 tons per year. I feel 135 tons. Additional, be brave free galamsey. So we must be prepared to sacrifice in the fight against galamsey. Say production will come down. It means that exports will reduce. And then also the issue of
or exchange rate. Then you sell it at interbank rate. You definitely will have losses because the forest brew rates are higher. So you can't buy it at that rate and go to sell it at interbank rate. Definitely you will incur some losses.
Right.
So everybody should know that definitely by the current arrangement, there's no way losses will not occur.
By policy design?
By policy design.
Okay.
There's no way losses will not occur. Now the issue is about whether those losses should be attributed to Bank of Ghana or to Gold Board itself. That's where the debate, that's what generated this whole thing. Then it's about a certain report being quoted by in an IMF report
yes,
being referenced to.
Yeah.
Then you have what's the name? We also have Gold Board has an audit report. The Auditor General has audited Gold Board.
Yes.
And has not.
It's also here.
And has not in anywhere in the report stated that Gold Board has incurred losses. You understand? So this debate is
a non-starter.
I don't even see how this thing should get to the stage that it has gotten to. Omoro, I've been saying it. You see, Sami is a very meticulous politician. And Sami is a young man who has a mandate to execute. Particularly, the Gold Board mandate largely is the economic value. Largely. It's not even about the losses, it's the economic value that we ought to be looking at. Sami is very meticulous. And Sami knows very well that there will always be a day of accountability. Sami has never run away from accountability. Sami has made Gold Board operations very transparent. Very, very transparent. He doesn't miss his word. Anytime he's doing a press conference, anytime, even Gold Board website, when you go, everything is stated there.
Okay.
Who is aggregator, who is what here, anything. All of it, you can get it on their website.
Okay.
He is not hiding anything.
I don't see against him there any. 20 years. Buno yan kame. Me see, Sanya man wa wo yiri. Oba ko kase oni mushi. Una o kansa. So, Chema want to be case when you look at it at any level. But you see, what is the history between Chema Wuntumi and Mahama or Mahama family? Are you aware, say, Chema Wuntumi no? And Sunday about 2016. Now, our court with Ibrahim Mahama, okay, the same period of NDC, no, on a kind of meaning, or no boy, Miss Bois, or say President Mahama a friend about the office. So, person joining NDC. Okay, it's a story. Ghanaians have forgotten. And I'll say, Drew Mahama in him, no, now Mahama Kuta, the mining papers, hands-on mining, in a good name say, he was shocked that President Mahama knew so much about him. And President Mahama Kachin said, or a young entrepreneur guy, number joining NDC. And also, I know the ordinary one share MPP, no, do to me call. And I'll say, fine. And Chebiana, hands-on mining, another matter. You question the excavators.
Yes.
You know, and also could be Ibrahim Mahama, Tema, no, can't be. And Ibrahim Susu was on the court. Me, I remember this call because me, I don't want to mention the lawyers' names. My friend, want to be lawyer at the time. My friend Ibrahim Mahama lawyer at the time. We met in the office. We sat down. I told them, says, I said, we, and yeah, Sema, I was saying this, saying, because me, Ibrahim, I'm a classmate. We in the same year group, 89 year group, in from the age of 12.
Ibrahim Mahama.
Yes. Chema want to be so no. My best friend, I was London. I down for no year together. So I also know him very well. Lawyers need me and so no. Back we are senior 1 year, back we are my classmate.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to come out. Now, I'm sure I'm saying something with Munchem. Oh, yeah, you can't, but in Tiasabia at the last end because of a monetary compensation after accepting responsibility, which makes you culpable. It's a normal, a James and a coy. You really power and assembly. Assembly start you. It's no a bit more chairman to me, your can end later, Nibino. And yet, with the union, I'm catching. Then so, you should ask the pain and the emotion with which some people behave in a certain way. Nyama no mo dia da. Send na no so the buafu that same family no. And a can be so and so enye. Into one person Muhammad, you know the history.
And you will cry some of
ending. Me kwa want to be need no. Ah, won so o person de me ko no bi so ye weni bo no so ko fa kekedru no so di ye weni bo no wie no e no Sunday me ko no ka ho. To kasa try. So you know the history. And tell you how Bonnie no want to me come Hama sense. But unknown to me, every Ghanaian should know. Say, oh, Yawa, the Mohammeds have taken him through before, burning his excavators, his livelihood, making him feel torture, pain, real pain going through him. So he overspoke. Yes, that's wrong. So you can take him to court for that. After all, you see, Chromo, because can't was right? You take him for slander, libel, or whatever. Defamation.
Yeah.
Then you go and do what you have to do. But it is not a police case. And President Mahama has all the resources in the world to tell to me, say, the things you said about me and my wife and my daughter, I'm taking you to court. He will win his case if he has a case. But Ghanaians should not justify it to say, Nyawun to me client, I was so called prison for Galamsey thing that he didn't do for 20 years. You are being stupid. You have no sense. Because if you have sense, you will not connect what somebody said to the fact that his liberty should be curtailed for something which there's no evidence. Circumstantial evidence. He did not do. Or say me nye. Then, where is your proof? But you cannot say that from the deduction of the case and the way it in. Oh, yeah. No. Especially when the other person. This is the case for Untumi. Let us stick to the case. Don't go and bring the facts that Udima Amatem. Oh, yeah, Udima Amatem. Oh, Mama, I should excavator 50 da. I should 50 da. Anybody who can come and tell Untumi that what he did was wrong, which I'm also telling him. And therefore, he should be jailed, Then Sandy Panometra me excavator. So, they won't mean and yet, two wrongs don't make a right. But that is not the equivalent. You cannot personalize his behavior to achieve a matter of punishment.
And today, what I'm not illegal mining.
Illegal mining was when I'm sure the history. The history is there. So some people, in some cases, some people when they want to please, and when they have certain briefs, which can be in the darkness of the shadows of this country, and they live with this. Now, you hear commentators now on all the Mahamatem, and even some MPP before cracking me. You are being childish. That is not the issue. 20 years, when you didn't do the Galamsey, the law is for people who are doing Galamsey, not people whose land has been used for Galamsey. Yes, maybe you should have known, or ought to have known. I know you're different. But I want to be jailing him for 20 years. So you have to use a different law to punish him. Give him some fine. Give him some term of imprisonment for 6 months as a deterrent. And no crime for baby moi. But you can't give him 20 years. And the other man is free. I know the media. And now you're President Mama.
But I feel oh yeah, lawyer ni. Men perceive it to me cow court and him. I feel the back baby.
Appeal depends on the appeal judges. You see, the appeal judges, they must also come to a certain conclusion. Do we want to speak the truth, or do you want to please? If they want to speak the truth, they know, sir, this issue, to me can appeal it whilst he's out of jail.
What 107.3?
They know that. They know. Even though I don't want to use a certain example, because as for that one, it was what we call a botched job by the Attorney General. And we a different issue. But for me, who to me is a Ghanaian first of all. Who to me is a son of our constitution. Who to me must not be imprisoned unfairly. Unless it's a dictatorship.
irrepressible, and today I announce the rebirth of the OSP. To those who hold the view that the OSP has achieved nothing and that it should be scrapped, your claims are testable. To those who say the OSP is ineffective, your claims are testable. You are respectfully invited to check the statistics of our performance and benchmark them against your preferred institution, taking into account mandate, year of establishment, resources, complexity of cases, and legal constraints. If you do this dispassionately, it would occur to you that the OSP has performed creditably. Our performance is neither shrouded in secrecy nor obscurity. We pride ourselves with openness. As at 31 December 2025, the OSP was conducting the prosecution of 33 persons and had 79 cases at full investigation stage and 161 other cases at the preliminary investigation level. The OSP had secured 7 convictions at the same time through court-sanctioned plea bargains. The performance ledger transcends convictions and cases under investigation. Our mandate is not only in respect of investigations and prosecutions, it includes the recovery of assets and taking steps to prevent corruption. And by December 2025, the OSP has secured financial recoveries including 8.5 million cedis and $2 million, in addition to substantial movable and immovable assets in ongoing proceedings. The OSP has saved the nation billions of dollars in its work in the assessment of the risk of corruption, especially in relation to our natural resources and the potential loss of sovereignty over same, and our seaports. The OSP also safeguarded Tema Oil Refinery from being pawned off, and it is now in operation after years of inactivity.
Tune in to Hot Digital Online.
The OSP's intervention in the customs sector has led to a reimagination and institution of a more robust auction of item system and a huge reduction in the often abused customs advance ruling regime in aid of the recouping of more revenue. The OSP's shake-up of the government payroll system has saved the nation a little over 100 million cedis so far. The OSP has saved the nation more than 20-fold the total amount of money released to it since its establishment, and it has thereby fully paid for and far above the resources invested in it. No person, whether in the public or private space, now engages in corruption lightly. This is because such acts have become costly as a result of the operations of the OSP. These are measurable outcomes. These are verifiable outcomes. Criticism is legitimate. Scrutiny is necessary. However, they must be based on facts and not on baseless dismissiveness. The performance of the OSP should not be measured by political applause, social media volume, the preferences of persons affected by its work, or the preferences of those who dislike the institution and its officers out of sheer ill will. It should be gauged by investigations undertaken, persons prosecuted, assets recovered, losses prevented, systems corrected, public funds saved, and steps taken to prevent corruption. So when next it is said that the OSP has not performed, the answer is straightforward. Check the statistics and benchmark them against your preferred alternative.
Finding clutter everywhere you look. Just listen. The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
That is to say, no matter how much you disapprove of the Daika, acknowledge its notable speed and swiftness. On 15 April 2026, an Accra High Court sought to exercise powers which are the sole preserve of the Supreme Court and struck down parts of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959, as unconstitutional. The High Court decided that the OSP lacks independent prosecutorial mandate. It invalidated all prosecutions conducted by the OSP and it nullified all convictions and assets secured by the office. It then directed that all OSP cases should be handed over to the Attorney General. The court so decided, although there was a matter pending before the Supreme Court, which was directly on point of whether the prosecutorial mandate of the OSP under Act 959 was unconstitutional. This development brought the investigative and prosecutorial work of the OSP nationwide to a standstill and uncertainty. Other courts, except one, adjourned all proceedings, awaiting the Supreme Court's decision. Therefore, prosecutions stalled, investigations were gravely hampered, and corrupt actors became emboldened in their opprobrious conduct. The cost to this nation is staggering. Do the math on what we have lost as a nation as a result of what happened on 15 April 2026. However, on 29 July 2026, the Supreme Court delivered its decision in the much-awaited case of Noah Ephraim Tete Adamte against the Attorney General, which was to decide the fate of the OSP. Upon the filing of the writ by the plaintiff on 8 December 2025, the OSP sought to join the matter, acting upon our gathered intelligence that the Attorney General had no intention of defending the suit, and that he would rather agree with the plaintiff that the impugned provisions of Act 959 should be struck down as unconstitutional. However, we admit that intelligence is not evidence, and so the Supreme Court dismissed our application for joinder on 27 January 2026 by holding that the state, represented by the Attorney General, was the only proper defendant, and that the OSP was not a necessary party. Well, we tried, and the records so reflect that we tried. History may be kind to us for trying to join the suit and not merely sitting back. Subsequent events confirmed our intelligence that on 8 April 2026, the Attorney General obtained an extension of time within which to file his statement of case, in which he supported the plaintiff's case, albeit on his own separate grounds. Consequently, just as we feared that we forecasted in our attempt to join the suit stood undefended until named civil society organizations applied to and were permitted by the Supreme Court to join the suit and file an amicus brief as amici curiae, that is, friends of the court. In this landmark decision, the Supreme Court, by a well-reasoned and emphatic 7-0 verdict, upheld the constitutionality of the prosecutorial function of the OSP and its legal foundation and setup under Act 959, LI 2373, and LI 2374. And the Supreme Court expressly overturned the decision of every other court to the contrary. We express our appreciation to all citizens and organizations who continue to defend the work of public anti-corruption agencies. We set out for a special mention the following civil society organizations that defended the cause in the Noah Ephraim Tete Adamte case at the Supreme Court. Ghana Center for Democratic Development, Monkwaso. Transparency International Ghana, Monkwaso. Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, Monkwaso. Democracy Hub, Monkwaso. Star Foundation Ghana, Monkwaso. NORSAC, Monkwaso. Pen Plus Bytes, Monkwaso. Africa Center for Energy Policy, Monkwaso. Odekro PMO Foundation, Monkwaso. A. Rocha Ghana, Moso Monkwaso. Parliamentary Network Africa, Monkwaso. Imani Center for Policy and Education, Monkwaso. One Ghana Movement, Monkwaso. Africa Education Watch, Monkwaso. The OSP considers such civic vigilance essential to safeguarding Ghana's anti-corruption architecture, institutional independence, and the rule of law. We also salute the legal team of the Amici Curiae. Every page of your legal brief was a delight and an eye-opener, and this is coming from a law lecturer.
Nikki is an Etsy seller, here to celebrate the moments that matter.
Waking you up to what's new, what's hot, What's trending? The headlines, the updates, from sports to health, from current affairs to the conversations that matter. It's the Best Breakfast Show, Monday to Friday, 6
as to
a.m.
the
to
functions
11
and operations
a.m.
of the
on Hot
OSP
Digital
and the
Online.
coexistent relationship
Now
between the
on
Attorney
DAB.
General and the OSP. It has greatly strengthened the fight against corruption, and it is upon the decision of the Supreme Court that I declare a rebirth of the OSP. We will show no fear or favor. We will remain resolute in the lawful discharge of our mandate. We will rigorously investigate cases. We will vigorously prosecute cases where the evidence indicates wrongdoing. We will actively recover assets. We will take all necessary steps to prevent corruption. This is our mandate. Recognizing that the fight against corruption will persistently be heckled by the pushback of corrupt actors, we have championed and we will continue to champion that the powers of anti-corruption agencies should be enlarged and enhanced, especially in respect of two main indices. First, global anti-corruption best practices indicate that broad-based lifestyle audit, non-conviction-based asset recovery represents the fairest and optimal method of frontally addressing corruption and unexplained wealth. Therefore, we have championed and will continue to champion that institutions like the OSP and the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, should be invested with express and effective lifestyle audit, non-conviction-based asset recovery powers to assure that persons show legitimate sources of income sufficient to justify their ownership of property. Therefore, where a person's resources far outstrip his legitimate income, the unexplained portion should be liable to confiscation. This will also be a critical tool to detect fraud and undeclared income for tax purposes. Added to this, conviction after criminal proceedings should not be a condition precedent for asset recovery. Civil proceedings should suffice. Second, we have championed and we will continue to champion the institution of a reverse onus clause of a presumption of corruption tied to lifestyle audit. Therefore, where a person is in possession of property disproportionate to his known legitimate sources of income, he should be deemed to have obtained it through corrupt means unless he proves the contrary. This proposed unexplained wealth mechanism is not a shortcut around justice or a license for arbitrary confiscation. On the contrary, once the appropriate legal threshold is established before a civil court, unreconcilable assets not traced to legitimate sources of income should be liable to confiscation. Even though our investigative and prosecutorial work was gravely hampered after 15 April, we have not been indolent. We have reviewed all cases under investigation and at trial. In some cases, we have uncovered more evidence of wrongdoing. In other cases, we have identified more suspects. We are going to refile some of the pending major cases based on our discoveries.
The interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online. The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online. Tune in to Hot Digital Online.
Now on DAB.
Now on DAB.
Now on DAB. Now on DAB.
Now on DAB in London. The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online. tune it in. Ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
What's new? What's hot? What's trending? The headlines, the updates, from sports to health, from current affairs to the conversations that matter. It's the Best Breakfast Show, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Hot Digital Online. Now on DAB. Years of bringing you an exceptional radio experience. Hot Digital Online, now on DAB.
Yeah.
have you. All packed and ready to go. On your favorite radio station. Hot Digital Online.
Tune in to Hot Digital Online.
Now on DAB.
Now on DAB.
Now on DA. Now on DAB.
Now on DAB in London.
The news, the interviews, and what have you. All packed and ready to go. On your favorite radio station. Hot Digital Online.
Tune in to Hot Digital Online.
Now on DAB.
Now on DAB.
Now on DA. Now on DAB.
Now on DAB in London.
Seven and a half minutes past 8 o'clock this morning. The inside stories and and emerging stories have been posted here this morning as we move on quickly. Looking at the weather this morning, very, very unpredictable. It is going to be 19 degrees Celsius by now. We had the special prosecutor resurrection. Kisi Ajaben yesterday held a press conference since he's been was taken to court for his prosecutorial powers that was removed. Now he fought hard and filed the quo warranto motion at the apex court of the land. And he had amicus curiae. Now, Latin word in amicus curiae means other parties involved and they show interest by also giving you a support at the court of competent jurisdiction. And when one of the attorneys who took the matter to court, Lamty, Eddie Seven Court, said the office of the special prosecutor was not constitutionally mandated. It is unconstitutional for the office of the special prosecutor by Article 959 of the Constitution by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo when they initiated the process. What gives the prevalence? Say, special prosecutor will work without any fear of favor because of the political affiliations that we have. So we are devoid of that, setting an office that will also give a green light of whoever is involved in any corrupt attitude. Now it is about corruption-related matters. And the special prosecutor will have the full mandate to investigate people with unexplained wealth, somebody who has earned money with who cannot explain, and all those people. Special prosecutor has the mandate to investigate them. But under normal circumstances, we could not achieve that result. It was going through a vendetta process. Like I said, he was acting as a special vendetta into where people started criticizing him. You can listen to Kisede's voice. Say he was unhappy when people say the office is like a white elephant. The office don't have the preponderance to investigate people or to make sure that the duty assigned to that particular office has not been discharged. And it is like a discharge of duty or contract, meaning that you have to end that particular office. Now, he was taken to court. In fact, his prosecutorial powers was removed so that why attentive unto me and prosecute because he has the mandate to investigate and prosecute the person and take the person to court for any further action by making sure that you put up your disclosures when you are going to make a claim in court, by leveling an accusation to somebody who has been incorporated with other issues. Maybe it could be aiding and abetting, money laundering, others. High degree issues of felonies. Like I said, the person could be incorporated into that particular issue. Like I said, special prosecutor will take the mantle and investigate the people. But what did we see? Gisia Jabing ended up, and he ended up by doing all sort of things. And the Attorney General's office, one Lamty, one Lamty, I didn't call court, High Court, said, the office of the special prosecutor don't have the mandate to prosecute into only the powers in finishem, because everything that the special prosecutor is supposed to be doing have been ushered to the Attorney General into you scrap the office. In fact, it came a banter and a lot of inflammation by closing that office. The Mahama Yariganum also put up a motion to make sure they disband the office outright. Kisia Jabe has fought hard to make sure he can put things in order. Into friends of the court, that is amicus curiae, to support him after he filed a quo warranto motion in court to make sure that he has, because quo warranto means that do you have the capacity? So he has the capacity, so he filed for that capacity, and then the judges, with their wisdom, gave him the mandate and then to give him a retribution and as a reinstatement, say Kisia Jabe can go ahead to do his work, but on conditions. Into the conditions, we are not going to talk about that one, but since he has been able to regain his confidence and got his office back. Now, he has attributed some fact during the course of his conference yesterday. He made certain indications. Say nipeni bi M-Pesa office ni betna na okay can assembly be, so you can hear from his voice that he was peeved and very emotional about what he was doing, because he knows people have antagonized that particular office to make sure they can ban that office without any shred of doubt. Under law, the office was to set out, I've explained that a special prosecutor is an independent office. Independent doesn't mean that the office belongs to you. It's an office that has been created because in our political dispensation, people who go and do wrong or people who have wronged the state cannot be prosecuted by the Attorney General, because Attorney General is appointed by the President. So there's going to be a link of a cognitive aspect. Like I said, there's going to be a relationship, because we understand that when the Attorney General is about to prosecute his own, he received a lot of threats. I understand when the Office of the Attorney General made a claim that Yamin and Wan Abanga are supposed to be investigated by Yoko for Galamsey suspicion. Yami was on the radio threatening the Attorney General, and then say, if they want to carry out this duty, that means the party will collapse. He said it without any shred of doubt. So that is why special prosecutors have the mandate to investigate such matters, because you are an independent person without any political affiliation. But what did you see? Kisia Jaben was in ineptitude during the course of his discharge of duty. So somebody from the office went to court, in fact, removed the powers from him. So he was a redundant office. Now, Kisia Jaben, due the course of his statement, he made certain categorical statements. Say there were a lot of civil society that gave him the appendage, gave him the support to make sure the office will operate without any shadow of doubt. Now, I see YGGCKB, YAC, was the way, was that the criteria that he was supposed to use to also man the office? And I also said, Kisia Jaben should know, say, a buying call for Krobia Bonia will be to me action, Ubia Nyoshi, because a Juma, that is the purpose of special prosecutor. Special prosecutor should not be afraid of the government in power, because you are the special prosecutor. Anybody at all, even the past government, people who have also siphoned money by incriminating themselves, by impregnating the public purse, you still have that powers to do your duty, but he couldn't do it. Now he has realized he has fallen short, and that there are some discrepancies in his duty. Until now, Kisia Jaben is telling us, say, Ijumano, Ibinum, he says our office no ho. Now he was cutting a little insinuations about what he was doing. We heard his voice and what he said. Until Enohun Sem no say office no investigate and semni BT through AXA, and saying AXA and Seme by Special Prosecutor Nra Kisia Jaben has named former Minister Kwabena Donko and 4 other Ghanaian officials as persons of interest in the AXA bribery scandal. The other persons named are Francis Roxin Kwesi Jata, a former technical advisor to the Ministry of Power, Solomon Ajete Sowa, a former deputy director of the Ministry of Power, and Georgini Metal, director of Tricop Group Limited, and Bafo and Kuma Brube. These are the people who has been purported, say, Yenua Beku Aichino America, Julio no, Fano, AXA deal, no, AXA Energy, and some no. Names were mentioned. Now he has been very categorically clear. Say, these are the names. At a press conference on Wednesday yesterday, Kisia Jaben said the Office of the Special Prosecutor had been investigating the Ghana dimension of case despite its public silence on the matter. As I stated earlier, we have been carefully investigating the Ghana dimension, and our public silence has not meant any inaction. Our involvement in the case and evidence so far enable us to identify the following as the main persons of interest in the case. Kwabena Donko, who was at the time the Minister of Power, Francis Roxin Kwesi Jata, who was at all time the technical advisor to the Minister of Power, Solomon Ajete Sowa, who was also at the time the Deputy Director of the Ministry of Power, George Metal, who was at the time the Director of the Tricop Group Limited, and Balfour Brobe, who was also an employee at Tricop Group Limited. Now, according to Kisia Jabeng, the investigation covers some current and former employees of the Volta River Authority, Ghana Grid Co Company Limited, Electricity Company of Ghana, Public Utility Regulatory Commission, that is the PURC, and also the former Ministry of Power. Now, other persons' interests include some present and former employees of the Volta River Authority, Grid Co, that is Ghana Grid Company Limited, Electricity Company of Ghana, Public Utility and Regulatory Commission, and some staff at the entity formerly known as the Ministry of Power. The special prosecutor, however, cautioned against treating the persons of interest as suspects, and also stressing that the two classifications are different. So please bear in mind that the persons of interest, it's not necessarily a suspect. The two categories of persons of interest and suspect are distinct in investigation classifications and should not be treated as interchangeable. Should not be treated as interchangeable. So that is the hypothetical definition. Further stress that being identified as a person of interest or suspect does not amount to finding of guilt. So in the meantime, identification in either category does not constitute criminal culpability or conviction until guilty is proved beyond a reasonable doubt to a satisfaction of the court of competent jurisdiction. In the Kisia Jabeng yesterday's press conference has enumerated findings of those who are being suspected to have collected bribes. So he can say that it's not interchangeable. It is something that is very specific and candid. And he has made his statement clear. He urged the media and the public to be careful on how they report and treat the individual's name in the investigation. So Kisia Jabeng has been very cautious about the situation where you can slander somebody's image or give the person an innuendo, and also say criminalize the person whilst investigation has not been done. And for now, there are suspects whose issue has been discharged to the office of the special prosecutor to go through the process, investigate, and also bring the quantum of the and the gravity of the crime committed, whether it was true they received some bribes from AXA or it is something that has been purported, which have no grounds to alleviate the process. And that is what Kisia Jabeng is saying. He's been quite cautious about the issues in regards to who have collected bribes. And for this time around, because of the journey and the trauma the special prosecutor has went through, he has been cautious and very circumspect. In fact, that this time, Obeye Bibia na kwanso. So I can see Kisia Jabeng's demeanor and his reactions means that he now understands the purpose vehicle of why he was chosen to succeed former special prosecutor Martin ABK Amidu for him to become the special prosecutor, because it was a mandate that was given to him for a lifestyle or just to come and throw the fanciful tale or throwing tantrums. It is a duty of care that you have to exercise so people will understand the nitty-gritty of what you are doing. In the meantime, in between time, a young lady, Bi Akufrimu, China. Now, she was a Ghanaian lady, dies after collapsing at China airport 2 days after arriving for masters. Nidin Edi Messi Yaba Bredu, a former vice president of the Association of Students of English, that is ASENS, at the University of Education, Winneba, 2024, has died in China, reportedly collapsing at the airport shortly after arriving from Ghana. Now, according to the report by myjoyonline.com, on the 26th August 2026, the Messi, a first-class student, traveled to China with plans to further her education and explore opportunities in the country. The report said she left Ghana on Monday, on the 24th, just this Monday, and was seen off by friends and family members at the Accra International Airport before her departure. Her flight reportedly departed about 1:30 p.m. During the journey, Mercy reportedly complained about heart pain. She had a heart pain, not just an coma. Shortly after arriving in China, she suddenly collapsed at the airport while receiving a bucket of flowers. She was also subsequently rushed to the hospital for medical attention. However, despite efforts to save her, she died on Wednesday, and that is a painful divorce of Mercy, very nice student who was going to pursue another career to give her some horizon, but unfortunately she died after collapsing due to heart failure. And her sudden death has left her family, friends, former colleagues, and members of Ascens community in shock and grief. And she may so rest in perfect peace. That was something quite painful this morning, a news that has been gathered in all time. In the meantime, in between time, as we move on quickly, issues in regards to what we have this morning. The Prophet Bedukubi breaks silence over hospital video and money claims. The Prophet Bedukubi has reportedly has responded to social media speculation about surrounding a video of him lying on hospital bed, dismissing, suggesting that the footage was circulated as part of an attempt to solicit money from the public. The founder of the Glorious Wave Church International addressed the controversy during a church service on Sunday, on the 23rd, 2026 August, where he explained the circumstances surrounding the discussions about his health. According to the preacher, Bedukubi, the people who spoke publicly about his condition were motivated by genuine concerns and affection rather than a desire to raise funds for him. Bedukubi specifically mentioned CL General, saying his decision to speak about the situation was influenced by some relationship and bond between them. He also argued that if needed financial assistance, he had enough personal contact in Ghana and abroad when he could also approach directly rather than relying on public donations. I have people in Ghana and outside Ghana who can support me, he said, insisting that the hospital video should not be interpreted as a financial appeal. The prophet also maintained that money has never been his primary motivation in life. He claimed that he has previously turned down financial offers because he believes certain matters, particularly those relating to political leadership, should be left to God. God, before good people, Bedukubi said, highlighting his belief that his relationship with God remains more important than material wealth. Inti Bedukubi, kwesiade odinsem to jawa short dem say na say yehu video bi a na odam paso hospital na yese osre sika na nyesa na tie say bani sika sem dia owo adofo bi a won tumi bua no nti enye sika na ehwa wo kom no ene ma san sensemi ba nti osre Ghana fo ne nsem ana nipa ni bi ka efa say Bedukubi yare modam paso agigi sika no say amanfo no so kan ya no mudika because send ansem disi koye no na zansem ya na ebetumi epiem nti Bedukubi na ono so di no dia tudwa no pay yekọ enim na me kai say Unity Link Financial Services Limited a proud sponsor a ban mobile money to major networks in Ghana, cash pick up to 18 banks and all rap banks, airtime top up Unity Link Financial Services Limited and pay and so boichidom Pinnacle Amofaba Education as Yankai will say courses be brina no betumi aye ye wo a foundation degree, foundation and degree MBA. Like I say, obi a obese o shase ehwe bibi na unye degree kitua kakra bi ehwe how far no. Pinnacle so betumi aboa. Ma we mfin so say courses ni bebre wo ho. BL Health and Social Care, and a degree MBA Mental Health International Business MBA project ni de keka ho. Almost student loan and student grant. 2-day classes, evening and weekends available for MBAs and assessment guidelines supported by Pinnacle teaching team if required. And Jabani qualification, whether or without qualification, you can still pursue some agenda. Now, to me, in your degree and I say bia na diploma bi kra bi kakra bi a obenya no ma wie mfi bombodi answer Pinnacle betumi aboa wo eba no indefinite leave to remain British citizen and also say EU pre-settlement scheme ni na no Pinnacle say nhihye no wo ho anopei enso eboechi do from 079 471 52878 079 471 52878 send wave money transfer as a menkai wanopei say omo de nhihye aba na promo bi a obeye no uye the new entrant now person download the apps now easy to download the apps. If you download the Sendwave apps and use promo code hot digital capital letters and the bonus ubenya bonus credit £10 credit free of charge. Now omo year promo ya could see 31st of October 2026 into Sendwave, send money and send love. Sendwave money transfer say papa no I no pay also Eboichidom AJN and Co Limited, a chartered accountant, business advisor, specialist in preparation, annual account bookkeeping, self-assessment, especially for Uber drivers. And here AJN and Co Limited on 016344 70495 and 078830 777 and here AJN and Co Limited, chartered accountant and business advisors. Minka also say fatherly visa travel and tours, a bano. Say visa hun sensem and discounted and British Airways fares. Like I said, with him say fatherly visa travel and tours. You know, Francis Finsbury Park, London, November 4, 3 Echo Green on 0207 6193843 and 07939656111. And we're assuming any T say Ghana High Commission I changes be a visa fee. Now, I'm working more prominently to get hold of a correspondence from the Ghana High Commission that we can speak and also verify and quote what actually is happening. The changes almost if visa any fee now abetosono because it is a grave concern. People have called and have narrated that particular issue. Say it is a worrying trend that is happening at the Ghana High Commission. So I'm working tirelessly. If not today, we'll get somebody from the Ghana High Commission to, because it's going to be a running story. People have made a complaint about it. So the office of the Ghana High Commissioner in the UK, we definitely want to speak to somebody to tell us what is actually happening and the changes made. Na the inflation of the price, kaneno sika mutua visa na kosro. What are some of the relevance? Any the issues? Any the probative value? We want to just know why all these things are happening. So in the meantime, in between time, let's listen to one of the correspondents. Na yenti the kosuna eba ya 12 million swano pay.
Gold purchase program or they buy. There were 3 legs: gold for oil, gold for forex, gold for reserves. Gold for reserves component na eboama ye reserves e build or central bank no. Say no or no oba be fasa program no what dane no. Obeyi tube na film no de akere baby foforo. Into on dam build the reserves ni biom. Into say no gold for reserves program no. Or no PMMC na no ye gold for forex no. Or no adani PMMC na ye no gold board. Yeah. Say onto gold and ton. Owie yes no police adwuma e wo krom ha say e wo say hwese obi nsumogol gold no. Wasan de akadwedi ni ne ho. Nti ye ka kire ne say wo the commercial function ni regulatory function ni bomu a wo be create problem because e be do baabi no commercial entity no obey so discan ye regulatory entity na adwuma e ho na wo be start aboka no.
Bretwi mu na entiasi yipa.
Okay. Nti ye wo PMMC a odidwa otono aton.
Brana MPP wa konwa so.
Yes.
Okay.
NDC buy no say emra no se sano PMMC no or to need info for gold board o decide says so obi an to me to gold and kwab manone just a gold board obi an no problem and assign the regulatory function say near ohwe say industry ni na obi abe de also ye e kan ne ho nti the same company no o ye dwadini ono nti as a dey o ye
aso da san hihemra
as a dey o ye lawyer no asan ye judge wo court ni Inti me kai sa na junu ye catch on parliament say wo di mienu no bomu a wo beboka again ye kan am say o ye mfa ya sempa nkodo no problem inti the cost yi ni abro mo pompe no e ka kire say the amu ya ne say mo pompe na hwe nsesa wo economy no because in economy no bibi asesa ye di dwa de niam kwa ama no ne enya dollar ansa na yehia dollar ye de kokra niam afia ama no ne ba yehia oil yehia nuru yehia niam bi a yenye no Ghana wo mic ne ade nyina ye kofa fia brutre ba nti yehia dollar nti say ye koton ye niam na yenya $10 but yehia $15 akwa ko kraniam afia brutre na che say demand number supply no so by 5 nti eda e be ko bank nkofo pe 15 10 penny wo ho no bank ne be catch us say enso nti wo abetumi ama ebo kese no me de be ma to bo say dollar na ye de e koso because demand for forex no ye higher than supply. Oye equation na about the volume of supply eba any demand and no we check whether it's in equilibrium. If it's not in equilibrium at depreciation e be setting. Inti baomia program na fi omo fa na omo de to inti omo Bank of Ghana print cedis ma no de akoto gold no ma ton gold no manya dollar no ma be pompe dollar na go market no so inti as economy no aye yi a ye exporting more by hwensi obi ani adwuma wo krom ha se hwe nkoso okay teni e be ka kire om sa ade amoye mo de ka be fie e ho asem beba na e pompe na mo pompe om se nyampa o mampani hia in fact time me kan first say omo pompe no governor nankasa na ba bonte be ka say enye no kre. Then Omampeni share bishop for no bisanis Catholic Bishops Conference. Bisa Omampeni sa minority for no say hwinsi na pumping na moyo. Omampeni so a good leadership. Enye pumping be a good leadership. Every month be ani ekoso echere figures no. Because Bank of Ghana no more data be a omo publish it. A friend summary of economic and financial data. Ukwo mo abehu. Nti ye be kan say pumping na no mo pumping ade ni nti wo be kan ya sa na IMF wo be kan say ampa ye hwe ade na mo pumping. Ti munyae na mo fa rules bi mra. To mujaye na dollar and started TBM call 12. The time I sent for call Jubilee House for press conference no. Biso Omampeni ka say ampa Bank of Ghana no na intervene. No jaye na tia kofom. Into the rules in the bar. I feel rules to pump. As part of the rules, they say every month of pump or so announce here wa pump. Until by the end of the year, na fi who so pump be 10 billion. And no na September October hono.
But I pump is to make sure say you see the anya ho den.
Say me say who blood pressure problem. You see giantsa.
You see a drone
jai enchine aduane ne ade. Wo say no no de unyai. Un solve the normal problem no. Na drone na obefa. Obehu side effect.
Okay.
Until by October November, any ebe ka kire mo say IMF report aba or kire say Sikana Bank of Ghana printima gold board say on frankoto gold enkoton no nya forex no yo the forex no abano omu wiye no e ka beda Bank of Ghana ho $214 million sabre no
yeah.
Ena me san ka kire o say but ye kra ye sese a e bro sa no say nemba me ka kire o say ka no bro sa 22 billion no ye bedu sa time no October November ye ka kire mo say 214 no kro mo ka na e bro sa inti parliament onye na djuma yensi nkunwa yenko into ekano yen find out baby ekano fi ni hu kwan ye be solve sa problem no timid motion no ba parliament ye de buy no NDC for say there be omo hwehwem omo ye fine gold board ye adwuma problem be any ho Bank of Ghana ye adwuma problem be any ho Patrick Boama the second motion buy because around that same time afini ko na wi ni nya ntie say Confirmation Bank of Ghana or Maton Ghana gold in half 50% of your gold reserves. Oka say omo ye rebalancing of the portfolio. When a man to me say omo ton gold na half. Omo ton ye ne car aba anamfa so aba ye sen. Ti Patrick Ba ma de motion buy and also ombogu ye. Ombogu ye no ebe ya atem didi ombe didi atem sa omo de oka ma sempe. Either say yenchiwa na say yendidi watem. Enti by end of the year no now say Bank of Ghana for your accounts. Bank of Ghana for be accounts no mbe ka kire o say omo aboka 9.6 in fact 9.06 billion cedis. E wo sika omo de ma gold board say gold board mfenko di gold dwa no e membra back no. Omo ye full cycle ni wi no. Tokura beda Bank of Ghana ho ye 9.06 billion Ghana cedis. Wo de dollar mo eno ye be $900 million. Let's say can free 214 no abedu 900. Kai unu say time ye be catch us say 214 no me catch us say 214 no e wo form na brosa Bank of Ghana very report here, no say 900 million. Now, okay, Section 58 of the Bank of Ghana Act now, or say Bank of Ghana rein accounts, or so they call my finance minister. Now, finance minister Bill Lee or Parliament. And the date here, 25th August 2026. ABC ne financial report on my Okipu account no finance ministry ho. But our account no. And on a bar bontia me be a press conference. Ye the TV bisi wo be chire mu. Say a canon ma bone 34 billion. 15 operational. 19 year non-operational. NDC force there be 15 penny yenhwe. So okay say asem. Me say about studio I say my be kan ho say first I dan kan buy na me kra on statement no I say. And na some jemfe be didi matem say me nye economist, me nye accountant, me or true for na the American kra me nti ase. Om de come asem pe. Either say be didi watem na be kan asem ato so ana say yen koche osesi a. Okay Brian team for job be ka say aeroplanes too be abagana ha say. Na intelligence a yenya ne say sa aeroplanes no be be fino cocaine chrome. Na sɛ ne adeɛ na bɛkyɛ wɔ ha no ebi mu suro sɛ abɛyi cocaine wɔ ha sei instead sɛ aban no bɛma ne intelligence network akɔsoro no ahwɛ the same way yɛfa BNI fo nkɔkye no ahun sɛ fiti hɔ ba na sɛ wobɛte yɛ sɛ yakɔkye cocaine bi wɔ ha sei yakɔkye cocaine bi wɔ ha sei yakɔkye cocaine bi wɔ ha sei no problem yɛnkɔ anim nti at the end of the year no Bank of Ghana for sɛ ɔma bɔka $900 million finance minister ɔmfa account ne mbaeɛ na wei na IMF we on 3-year ECF no to omo chron krata ni na 6th review no krata number IMF for say a car that Bank of Ghana for gold trading with gold board for 2025 na 900 million a year 1.7 billion Ghana cedis billion dollars what the basi this one 22 billion Ghana cedis. Wow. 22 billion a bit maybe agenda one aka nyina tina chere se mo ska wo but mo decide this ska no mo de beye tricks wo cd no ho 107.3 ye try na ya ma cd no agina beye 10 ebema obi a ho ato no but nipa wo ka sa chere wan ka no kra nche ne se rather no wo boka hye e kire ho ama na ono akroya na oba be den obetua sa aka no Ghana population ya 33 million I will grab a calculator. Now divided 22 billion cedis by 33 million. Ube hu ka wo mabwa ma Ghana ni ba akwala na ye wo nge. Ube hu ka wo mabwa to amano in 1 year. We produce say omte. Mo fa calculator. Ye wi a mo ba ka figure. Pese wo calculate na ka figure ni cheme. Inti di akoba ni say o maboka 22 billion Ghana cedis. E o sa gold dwedie no. Na no na to say if you see Uza me Kenya na catch say e kan ya throw Bank of Ghana books nim. But in penifoni bebre argument a making say e kan fine our Bank of Ghana books nim. Afenyo press conference or say fine e kan our Bank of Ghana books nim. But obi ne kodi dwa no ma sa kan buy. Asa ni pa kon cross wa boa Ghana. Na wetumi ama Ghana gold reserves akonenim. Nti ono kodi dwa no buy e kan do 22 billion no. Say ye kind or contributed to Kana. Any or no so asem yina no. In fact, before then, Abna say sorry, I a video about Abna be a video number. I'm saying Abna poor woman until the Okana say Onimshi or bon Onimshi no okay kabi. Makacho so mo come masama yanchiwa e be di watem. And I fenyo be in the press conference say, you know, any Bank of Ghana nkwane one question answer. Gold board ono kudi dwano e buy until no so questions obey answer. Gold board buy say onuni book mu de when you profit of 5 billion. Yes. Nti ono de asem no onim hwehwe. Na ka no yenko bisa BOG. Na afenyo crowd ti say na dey fa asema ye kan ho be. Ka wa bona ye kan wa say na afenyo ti say. Right, but obi hoping to distract attention from asem na nkasa ya kan no. Ti no na yakọ back to parliament, asan filing motion ni say I will say parliament si nkonwa. Asem na ye kan, time na kan ye 200 da mo say there be no. Any I back to parliament, I will say parliament in Kunya. Ni investigate kwan sa 22 billion ka we say. Aba. Right, but Rebecca says yeah auditor.
The news, the interviews, and what have you. All packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station. Hot Digital Online.
Assess the performance of the government in relation to its commitment to creating jobs for our people. But you see, Muswell, one thing also is important. For the National Democratic Congress, if you look at the Ghana Statistical Survey, this gave an impressive record, making statements today. The report indicated that indeed over 900,000 or about 800,000 people, we succeeded in lifting about 800,000 people out of poverty somewhere last year.
So 1 million.
Close to 1 million. Yeah. Yes, precisely. As that was the Ghana Statistical Service. But you see, it doesn't really tell the whole picture, even for us as a government. Because if you look at the World Bank's methodology, they are talking about multidimensional poverty. And multidimensional poverty, it is important for this education to go through. It does not really mean just monetary poverty. Those who do not have access to money. It also means access to educational infrastructure, education, and most importantly, basic infrastructure generally. So the basic infrastructure can be even health infrastructure, it can be sanitation infrastructure and stuff like that. That accounts for about the 56.4%. So it's not just in terms of the economic livelihoods of the people, in terms of their purchasing power, it's not limited to that. But you see, for me, there is always a disconnect between what the Ghana Statistical Service churns out and what the World Bank brings out. And that is worrying for me. I know as a matter of fact that many other African countries have raised concerns about the methodology being used by the World Bank. The recent being Nigeria. The government of Nigeria issued a statement to the effect that they have issues with the methodology that the World Bank continues to use on Africa. Prior to the NDC government, the NPP government in the past had issues with the methodology that was used by World Bank to assess the multidimensional poverty rate. So the question is, as an African continent, what is our position? Especially when it comes to our engagements with institutions like the World Bank and the IMF. Because, mind you, these are also international institutions that are also aiming at profits and their credibility. Because the more Ghana continues to do well, it becomes a source of worry to the World Bank, because many of the loans that they will send and get their dividends out of it will become a challenge. So we must understand even the political economic implications of many of these international institutions and design our own model to be able to track the progress of African countries. That is why it is important for us to pay close attention to AFDB, African Development Bank, so that we can begin to compete competitively even when it comes to the role of these institutions as far as shaping the global financial economic architecture is concerned. We must not delude ourselves to thinking that they are pursuing African interests. There are hidden interests there that we may not have, we may not know. But the most important thing is that we must build that African identity, even in terms of our research.
I don't think do you know you are now sounding like Akufo-Addo. Remember, you remember when he said that even the financial ratings, ratings,
was asking for Africans.
We should have. You see, it's true. When we are saying African presidents have made this point again and again.
I was only waiting for Hamza to land.
No, let me make his point.
And I say this, and of course, Hamza today has decided not to do his everyday politics. So I don't intend.
My brother,
you'd like politics too much.
Are you guys going to allow me to finish?
But today he has decided not to do that.
Yeah,
but
he wants to finish his point.
Oh, I will allow him. It's interesting that the very things Nana Akufo-Addo said, which people in the NDC bastardized him for questioning how these agencies operate and how they project or how they present Africa. Today, new apostles have been found. We thank God for that.
No, which people bastardized?
Oh, your party people.
You see, thankfully for some of us, you see, if you have followed the politics of this country, you would come to appreciate that the NDC has always been consistent when it comes to the role of these international institutions, dating back to the Rawlings regime, unless, of course, you are a recent follower of our politics. We've been quite consistent. That is why we are fashioned as a social democratic party. We have had our suspicions since 92. Even in fact, predating that, PNDC AFRC, when it comes to the work of these international institutions, we've never been on their side. The contention under the Akufo-Addo regime had to do with the economic policies of the regime. And it was difficult to discount the role of the credit agencies. And the fact that references were made to it does not mean that they were not red flags when it comes to their activities.
Yeah, but
Hamza, always express those concerns.
Yeah, I want to draw attention
Let's
to
make
something.
that point.
Yeah, just quickly, before you continue, though, you were just talking about the various criteria or parameters the World Bank uses in measuring the multidimensional poverty. And I was just looking at some of them here, the components. They talk about daily income less than
2.15.
Yes. They also talk, even here, even here, I'm just looking at their document because the one they presented, they haven't published it. So the document from last year, their multidimensional, the poverty component, they have daily income less than $3 per person. They have at least one school-aged child not being enrolled in school, no adult having completed primary education, no access to limited standard drinking water, no access to limited standard sanitation, no access to electricity. And if you tick all of these boxes, then you are considered multidimensionally poor. And if you compare that even to the Ghana Statistical Service, like you're making reference to, it's pretty much similar. They talk about nutrition, they talk about sanitation, they talk about even education.
But what was the percentage rating of the Ghana Statistical Service?
Yeah, they talk, like you mentioned, about 1 million people haven't exited.
Absolutely. So the results are contradictory. Let us establish that fact.
Yeah.
21.9% Ghana Statistical Service said for multidimensional...
About 21%. That there was a drop from 23 to 21.9%.
Multidimensional poverty.
Exactly. So, and they are saying 56.4%.
I was even drawing Dr. Zato's attention to that because if you look at the statistics, the figure they gave us, that over 1 million people have been moved out of the poverty line. And now this report says that about 56%, in fact, from 57 to 56, it is not significant.
It is not significant.
So the question is, who are these people who were moved from poverty, who were moved out of poverty?
I was just about to commend you for also not being political
I am not.
Especially in condemning or questioning the credibility or integrity of our Ghanaian institutions. Let me make my point.
If you allow me to land, probably you get the import of what I'm saying. It's nothing political. But I'm only making the point that there is the need for us as a country to look at what has been presented, look at what statistical service also presented, just oppose the two and look at what the missing link is. Because clearly there's a missing link. But then back to the point I was making.
Is it your submission? Don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I have been gracious to you.
You are indulging me for
I've been gracious to you and your MPP friends. Please don't do that. Don't do that. There are 2 MPP people on this platform. I've been quite gracious. So let me make my point. And you see, Musbao, so for this government, this is a golden opportunity for us to ensure that we connect the macroeconomic indices to real-time job opportunities and growth for the good people of this country. And you see, it doesn't even have to take the World Bank to at least give us the warning signals as far as the problems associated with connecting growth to job opportunities are concerned. As political parties, we've had this banter for decades. I know you would agree with me. Look, if you look at the Statistical Service figures from 2017 to 2024, it varies significantly from the World Bank Economic Index released within that period, just as we have today. And so it tells you that the methodology being used by Ghana Statistical Service is different from the methodology being used by the World Bank. But you see, Dr. Zato, you know what is worrying? For me, I am not a researcher. But for me, in all this, we have gotten to a stage as Ghanaians where we even have doubts about the figures being churned out by our state institutions, the credibility of those figures.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether it is the NPP or it is the NDC. So you are right to ask, can we verify the 1 million we're told lifted out of poverty? These are genuine questions anybody can ask. Same way, if they say that the situation is worse than before, can we verify same with actual data? These are discussions we need to have. And the time has come for us to empower our educational institutions, especially the tertiary institutions, to be research hubs so that we can rely on data that is likely to come.
I hope you trust Dr. Zato.
Oh, no, for him, I won't trust him. See, I deliberately decided not to talk about the African policy lens. Because the African policy lens is an extension of Dr. Mahmoud Baume's campaign. So that is why I decided not to go there.
Okay, all right.
Well, you just find a solution to your own business. Yes, I wanted to make a quick point. You see,
Waking you up to what's new, what's hot, what's trending, the headlines, the updates, from sports to health, from current affairs to the conversations that matter. It's the Bet Breakfast Show, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Hot Digital Online. Now on DAB.
Testimony time, hallelujah. Time. Tell your neighbor, Baba don't do am again. Baba don't do am again. No. Baba don't do am again. No. He don't do am again. Baba don't do am again. No. The thing will shock the enemy. Oh. Now my God don't handle am again. Oh, how to Baba don't do am again. No. Again. He lift me higher again, oh. I don't do him again, oh, again. From zero to hero again, oh. Baba don't do him again, oh, again. Baba don't do him again, oh. Baba don't do him again. Hey. Last year they cried, this year they dance. Now Jehovah turned my story to chance. People will laugh me, oh. Don't they ask me? Now where you go, I say, now Jesus bless me. Oh. He picked me from grass to grace. Put celebration for my face. Who fit do? Nobody fit. Only my Baba, we never quit. Baba don't do him again. Again. Why he don't do him again? He don't do him again. Again. The thing will shock the enemy. Oh. Am I don't do him again? Again. Am I God don't him again? God raise me stand giddy but all. Every setback turn to set up. Now my season of divine lift up. Blessing full everywhere. Now grace are they wear like underwear. Joy overflow in all
Time check is 16 minutes past 9 o'clock here. World Bank has issued a press statement in regards to the poverty rate in Ghana. Now, we were listening to Joy and Opey with the AM News on discussions in response to the World Bank on report poverty in Ghana. Now, World Bank report on poverty in Ghana highlight that the persistent challenges faced by the population despite the country's economic recovery. The report states that 56.4% of Ghanaians remain in poverty, with special disparities widening across the country. The report also emphasizes that the need for more inclusive growth and also create opportunities and jobs for the wider population. It also notes that while Ghana's economy grew by 6% in 2025 and accelerated by 6.4% in the first quarter of 2026, the growth is concentrated in sectors with limited job creation capacity. The report also called on for urgent attention to address the structural imbalance and also ensure that the benefits of economic growth reach more households and regions. In the World Bank have issued a report and a communique. Say unya bubro and so adrun kofu ewo Ghana ebe 56%, 56.4%. Now despite say the economic growth are buying and so kase omanu economy sika 70 ade no nipa bebre na enyi djuma omoye ene mfie anu so wo ho a titu nnuane ankofu bedi ni ade no utumi se kom ewom into World Bank edisa report aba na the poverty and equity brief in 2024 World Bank. Ghana experienced considerable poverty reduction up until the COVID time. Now 56% still trapped in poverty. Despite the recent economic recovery, 56% of the population in Ghana with poverty spatial disparity. In the World Bank for report. Na enona ye can say uhia bubrono World Bank for Edinburgh to Jack. Danny den no muta ye report. E woma Ghana Statistical Service so Edinburgh report ba. Na nan saying a man for extra or a com a womb like I say nnuane ani pebedi titu nyama boy din kofun to mean to near Wonky County are trapping in poverty. And one some and a World Bank for Ede Sansemi and Sabatu Janti. Despite the recent economic recovery, the population remains in poverty with spatial disparity widening across the country, according to the World Bank report. It's the World Bank report, and also the Yakoinimne 12 million son of pay 19 minutes past 9 o'clock this morning. It's hot in the morning all the way as we're moving on. We're surging. Na ya 12 million son and pay me. The can catch us Kisi Ajabeng of the special prosecutor has made certain pronouncements about those involved in corruption and as a bribe takers far the AXA and Sensemno home. Now let's listen to this one quickly. Na yentu egbe nso pay ye ba enchebe acknowledge your proud sponsors and their Thursday ti ebeboni tu na yama yemuso.
In our system here, we do not see it as such. In fact, there is no official that you take on a trip, on an official trip, for anything, and there won't be a per diem attached to his travel. Such things are considered very normal here. But with the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, they are described as corrupt practices. And so the extent of their definition of what is corruption is so far-reaching that if you don't take your time, you may want to bring people in as being corrupt. When in our local system here, those things are normal. You understand? We support every call for investigation. And that is why the former power minister, through his council, Katie Hammer, they have come out to issue a statement to say that they are ever ready to make themselves available for any form of investigation. I see the investigation having a wider span because they're talking about even officers of ECG, of GRIDCO, of VRA. Yes, these things must be investigated. If they are even in our, and they are going to be investigated with the lenses of our local laws, not with the lenses of the U.S. Foreign Court. Asante Beko's own was done with the lenses of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act of the U.S. because he was prosecuted in the U.S. In this instance, we are going to look at it from the angle of our local laws. Do our local laws have same biting effect, same far-reaching consequences like the US one? I bet you differ. And so, and I don't know where my people are coming from, NPP are coming from. When OSP is involved in one case, you are attacking OSP on the issue of bringing Ken Oforiatta to come and stand for trial. You are attacking OSP. At one point, OSP is good to fight or to pursue this case. At another point, if it doesn't involve you and it involves another person, then AG is not good.
It's better than AG.
You cannot define for us. NPP, you cannot sit here and define for us what is better. You understand? That is why even in the that is why I was quiet. That is why even when the matter of OSP's power to prosecute went before the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court still gives them the power, but says it's still subject somehow to the control of the Attorney General. You cannot, for your interest, throw away our laws. So far as the OSP is still coming to operate under our laws. They are to some extent under the control of the Attorney General. So if you say the OSP must follow through with this case and not any other person, what becomes of even the power given to the Attorney General by our laws and even the effects of the pronunciation or the pronouncement by the Supreme Court, which says that if at any point of the OSP prosecution, the Attorney General can even come in and stop it.
Yes.
And so it still doesn't, even if the OSP pursues it and the Attorney General has that thinking you have, it still doesn't stop the Attorney General.
We want that to happen.
Yes,
so
I know.
Will see.
We want but I'm telling you that. But I'm telling you that narrative you are putting across is not solid because it's still that power is still with the Attorney General. So regardless of who is doing it, it's still the same thing. You understand?
It's not.
Now, these individuals, for me, they have and you made a statement which I think we should is a station. A media house that you said when you were putting the last question to you came to describe AXA as a company that has been found to be corrupt. I think it's good we correct it. AXA in nowhere, if you read the judgment, was AXA. Even AXA was not named in the whole judgment. They were described as uncharged co-conspirator. If you don't charge somebody, you can't find the person guilty.
Yeah.
So I think for the sake of the network that we all sit on, let's not describe AXA as a corrupt institution. So far as they haven't been charged, even under the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, we cannot describe them as. So the only person currently who stands to be called a convict, as far as the case there is concerned, is Asante Beko. You understand? And to me, the Attorney General of this country, if you talk about, Awa went to town, talking about the fact that they don't trust Attorney General because he has filed nollie prosequi, he has done this. Look, you have wasted the whole Ghana. You have wasted our time for 8 years. You had 8 years to prosecute these people. You dilly-dallied. You were even trying to sway the thinking of witnesses in court to get them to side with you, to get people who the laws were totally in favor of, to twist the laws to get them to jail. You had records of your Attorney General calling, speaking to people, witnesses, you understand, to go one way or the other in terms of the evidences they give in court. This was a weak case. You had weak cases against this. You were only going for political opponents just to suit your appetite. And you think everybody, Ghanaians must waste our taxpayers' money pursuing these people when there's nothing for it. In fact,
there's nothing in Saglemi.
Now you had 8 years to prosecute Saglemi. What did you bring to Ghanaians?
It was not.
You should be held accountable for what you have
supposed to be.
I'll come to you.
So what do you? If in 8 years you couldn't complete Saglemi prosecution, what do you expect?
Saglemi did not start 8 years.
Check
the date.
When did you start it?
But
you had 8 years in power.
Yeah, but you see, you had 8 years.
But you had 8 years.
8 years.
But you had.
We have cases that got convictions.
How long did opening case start?
8 years.
Open case. They ran for 7 years.
Yes, they ran for 7 years.
Yes. Did you get
because we believe that
did you get
the law must be meticulous.
We shouldn't be in a hurry. What we are telling you is that look,
we shouldn't be in a hurry.
And how come throughout your 8 years? How come throughout your 8 years? Only MPP functionaries, only NDC functionaries.
Mr. Mohammed, I'll come to you.
And these people being who? These people being who?
Former government appointees.
Yes.
Some went to jail, including the brother of the president.
And you think today, and you think today, the same law should not come. And you think today, the same law should not come for former government appointees?
We did not file a nollie prosequi on any case that anyone is involved that the person is an MPP person. Never did that.
Which case was involved when you were in power? Which case was involved with regards to MPP people when you were in power?
There were no cases.
Exactly.
Because they won cases. They won the cases.
Because you prosecuted
they won the cases under you. Because Asabi went to court and won the case. Yes, you prosecuted Asabi together with his wife, and he won the case in 2014.
all the
So
people
shall I
you
tell you-
prosecuted,
shall I
we
tell you
didn't
the list-
inherit.
the list of
we
MP
did not
So I'm
inherit
telling you
any
that
case
what
that
I'm telling
you were
is that
prosecuted.
what I'm
I'm saying
telling
we
you is that-
didn't inherit
Let me
any
tell-
case that
let
you
me
were
tell you.
prosecuted.
So
For you to say that,
and this guy,
but you,
this guy, what's his name? The former MP, Abu Gapele.
Yes.
He didn't inherit that case.
We inherited that case.
So look at him.
No, I said
it's okay.
that
It's okay. You said
involved
it's okay.
MPP.
I
I said that involved
Let me
MPP
address the issue.
officials. That was what I mean.
Please, land on your thought.
So because Abu Gapele was not an MPP official, you didn't find out post, you allow him to go.
No, but we don't have history of filing Lolo
So I am telling
we don't
you
have
that-
that history
I
of
am
filing
telling
Lolo
you-
on our
I am
people.
telling you.
We do not have that history of filing Lolo on our people.
No.
You have the history.
No,
in the last 1 year,
Mr.
8 months,
Awal.
you've done all
Mr.
this.
Awal, I think I'll come to you.
Yes.
And I've said this
He
repeatedly.
is asking me the questions.
Please.
I'm responding to things, and I was here when you were making those allegations.
Make your point.
I
And
never
you
responded
have
to
your
you when
time.
you were making those allegations. So if you can allow me to also proceed,
Yeah.
you understand.
But you are done.
Honorable, please
Yes,
go
I'm
ahead.
basically that. So what I'm telling you is that allow the state institutions, look, be it IOCO, be it Attorney General, be it OSP, these are all laws set up. These are all institutions set up by our laws. And we must respect their existence.
The Honorable Fatal, one of the reasons we set up the special prosecutor was because we felt that we're not paying critical attention to corruption and cases around it. Now, if you look at the objectives of the special prosecutor per the OSP Act, it says that that is one, to investigate and prosecute cases of alleged or suspected corruption and corruption-related offences under the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663. B says investigate and prosecute allegations of corruption and corruption-related offences under the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, involving public officers, politically exposed persons, and it goes on. And then C talks about investigate and prosecute alleged or suspected corruption and corruption-related offences involving same as mentioned in B. And we've had the Deputy Attorney General saying that it is rather IOCO that is going to lead this. What would you say to those who are expressing concern that that is the main agency, as it were, established to look critically into corruption? Why do you want to put him aside and let other agencies that may equally have the same
If you go and
authority
read the
to
work
do that?
of the Constitutional Review Committee that has just finished their work, they were coming to this point to say that we should take away all corruption or corruption-related offenses from even the AG and give it to OSP. That thinking is flawed. It's very flawed.
Why? Then
One.
why set up the OSP?
When we were setting up when they were setting up the OSP, we thought that they were just doing mere duplication. Mere duplication. Because today, they themselves, in the last few months, they were on the neck of the OSP for failing to deliver on its mandate. The same people who set it up. So we have nothing to say about OSP. They set it up, and they were advising them that it was not the best way out. But they used their numbers and pushed it through. And not long ago, they were just fighting OSP. Now, you see, when you say everything about corruption and corruption-related offenses should be taken to OSP and the AG should have nothing to do with it. So now, if an officer is the facts surrounding a particular case regarding a particular officer, those facts bring out issues of corruption and they bring out other offenses, not necessarily corruption. In that case, if you don't take your time, what you have is that you have one officer being prosecuted by two agencies because those facts that give rise to other offenses that do not amount to corruption or corruption-related offenses will now be handled by one agent, one state institution, say IOCO, say Attorney General. And then you have those set of facts from the same action, which have to do with corruption and corruption-related offenses, being now taken over by what? OSP. Now, the same person will now be subjected to even cruel prosecution because today he's in court with IOCO, or if you like, Attorney General. The next morning he's going to court with OSP.
But that's what is happening with Untumi.
Mr. Awal, respectfully, I'll come to you.
That's what is happening with Untumi. He's in
Honorable,
multiple
please, you have the floor.
Several cases.
So why can't you consolidate it to one?
You don't understand. Maybe because you are not a lawyer, you don't understand. If you are saying something, let me educate him. Do you know that one act can give rise to several offenses?
Okay, so but you think that
it's my time.
Honorable Fatal, please make your point.
You understand? The reason why most people are not in agreement with that position is that it is in the way, it was not for nothing that the crafters of our constitution put everything, all offenses at the behest of the Attorney General.
so that that individual who is standing trial does not suffer the pain of having to the same offense or if you like the same action that the person is involved in. Part of it is handled by one agency, part of it is handled by another agency.
There are those who think that perhaps the politicians from both sides generally just do not want to deal with corruption, because if you look at the act itself, in one breath it says that the OSP should not be interfered in doing its work. In another breath, it is under the authority of the Attorney General, and even the recent ruling from the Supreme Court vindicates that position.
I disagree with you, because it's the position who still pass the laws. But all the laws about corruption did not come about as a result of private members' bills. They were bills sent to Parliament by governments, and those governments are politicians. And those who pass them into law in Parliament are equally politicians. So if the politicians are running away from this, why would they even introduce bills to Parliament to address it? And why would they even support those bills in Parliament to become laws? You understand? So I disagree with that position that we are running away. Politicians are putting together a system that we think should work. It should be time tested, and it should be able to be far-reaching enough to address our concerns. The fact that we have put together those systems does not mean that we should allow flaws in the system to coexist with the right. So no politicians run away from the system. The OSP, as it stands now, yes, we all agree. In fact, if you read the case, they'll tell you some of the collaborations that have been had in respect of these offenses, the prosecution of Asante Beko. You see, when you're prosecuting these cases in Ghana, you would need even witnesses from the US. It's not going to be easy. Look, the US decide that sometimes they want you to give them the necessary assistance. But when you need this assistance from them, it becomes a little difficult. So we may not get it as readily as they will get it from us, because obviously they are better placed and they have some powers than we have. You understand? And so it's not going to be so smooth sailing. But I still disagree, and I go for the position that we should put these people before our laws. We should do the necessary investigations, and we should go to the every length possible to make sure that at least we bring this matter to a close. Nobody is running away from accountability.
I want to come to you, Mr.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
The Deputy Attorney General and also the Office of the Special Prosecutor now coming forth to say that we are strongly investigating this as well.
By law.
Wow. The interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Tune in to Hot Digital Online.
Now on DAB.
Now on DAB.
Now on DAB.
Now on DAB in London.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Suwa Masoria. The Wosika Kameto She Amanatemo. The Wawadi Kamesia Basura Manatemo. Afamawa, Mawa Bebrama Wanasuno. Papa Esiama. Oh, AJ Siama. I wouldn't listen to Paboni Baumbayo. And you're I wouldn't listen to Paboni Baumbayo. Why you me? I bought me who by a mania. Papa, my own yum to go. Give me one in Bible. Did it be a buy me bonus? Pray, Baba. Enjoy your mission.
It needs no introduction at all. Come 5th September, Kojontri alongside Fred Maywe will be performing on the grounds at the High Prestige Arena, Dominion Center. That is where Kojontri will be doing a lot more. I'm talking about the maestro in the meantime, in between time. Ghana Visa Services in the United Kingdom. Now, from the website of the High Commissioner, it says that the British citizens and UK residents apply for visa to visit Ghana through the e-visa portal of the Ghana High Commission in London. Plus entry rules every traveler from the UK should know. Ghana is one of the UK's strongest travel connection in West Africa. Direct flight link London, Accra year round. The Diaspora travel home in large numbers and every December, and businesses, academic and tourism traffic runs in both directions. British citizens need a visa to also enter Ghana. Now, the visa is a ECOWAS. It's a non-ECOWAS nationals residents in the UK. Visa services for the whole of United Kingdom are handled by the Ghana High Commission at the 13 Belgrave Square, London, alongside Ghana Online e-visa system. The route e-visa or London mission. Ghana operates an official e-visa portal at the evisa-ghana.gov.gh for citizens for eligible countries. For eligible UK applicants, this is usually the most convenient route. You apply and pay for it. And there have been some changes that we're trying to identify how much would you spend when you want to acquire a visa. And the online e-visa has been introduced, as the website can clearly indicate. And the people are also raising concerns about the high costs and the issuance of visa, the money involved in the and so on, pay that. We will definitely get in touch and then know, because we understand it's going to be about 200 and something to 300. We don't know how much it will be the cost, but for now, it is a fee we increase the High Commissioner Australia into and as well. Now we're talking about the fee. Now, pay Unity Link Financial Services Limited. We salute Bano mobile money to major networks in Ghana. Cash pick up to 18 banks and all RAB banks in Ghana. Airtime top up is Unity Financial Services Limited. We happen to be our proud sponsor. Pinnacle Amofaba Education. The education is your pinnacle. You can also acquire a foundation degree, masters, and more. Like I say, MBA courses need the no qualification, work experience, no qualification or work experience required. Into Bombodian also bet me after Pinnacle courses ni be Brenano September on be biatum now with me I register abo degree into Pinnacle Amofaba Education and pay ebo ichidon. Friend was 079-471-52878. I know your Pinnacle Amofaba Education. Send wave money transfers here and Kyle said, if you happen to be a first timer, now person download the apps now. A fast, easy money transfer from UK straight to your from your phone to send money through the loved ones, and to download the SendWave app and use promo code HOTDIGITAL to get bonus credit of your first transfer £10 credit. And this promo will end at 31st of October 2026. Send wave, send money, and send love. And Opeyisu AGN and Co Limited, Chartered Accountant Business Advisors, specialists in preparation, annual account bookkeeping, self-assessment, especially for Uber drivers. And no, AJN and Co Limited. When we talk about P45 and P60, but what they are from was 016344 70495 and 078830 777 and we are AJN and Co Limited. Fatherly to phone so ban a passport once and some airline ticket na fatherly visit travel and tolls and also a ban of special and discounted British Airways fares. Na just away to me after Francis of Finsbury Park, London, November 3 Echo Green on 0207 6193843 and 079 3965 6111. Tenum, I have fatherly visa travel and tours worldwide and pay and so dom. Menka also say, in the meantime, DJ Enfus and so say, uye occasion be now here Ghanaian unity to DJ Enfus bebwao. DJ Enfus are healthy food for you, delicious food services for all occasions. It's about the parties, wedding, funeral, engagement, private, indoor, outdoor, catering, and home delivery. Momo was so below ice kinky, ginger drink, trophy, any de keka home, person the 7 pa, do I beba, jollof rice, any wachi, ni na DJ Enfus from 075 070 86932 and a 079 622 59421. Tiano DJ Enfus and pay and so ebo echidom. Kwekunyame any the great Davidson band, Eddie Birusunko Ebro, Ewo United Kingdom. Now on the 5th of September at the Gateway, the Dominion Center, 9 Broadway High Road, Wood Green, N22, 6DN, DJ Da Force and also Kweku Usu Frimpong, the MCs on the night. Now TQ, DJ Obebomunyom, Ope, inquiries be over to me after 077 288 76027 077 288 76027. Nti yenhye so enso ewo ho menka wono pe say health program na eba so no ebeba so Arsenal for stadium na restored health community outreach Almode Health Expo eba in collaboration and as in partnership with Guba Foundation and Can Rainbow Radio omuna enso in partnership nti eba so on the 5th September Ewo Arsenal 4 Stadium, Emirates Sports Stadium, free, banner rendezvous and networking, meet, connect, and have fun. And also be free health screening, BP, sugar checks, cholesterol check, any prostate cancer. Ni number and so obey umdi hun kita teachu no my head no my checks no health talks workshop, practical tips for family, live music and entertainment, any delicious food in yani bebu ho. Until you're celebrating the Ghanaian, African, Caribbean health and well-being. In the ancient is about the 5th of September at Emirates Sports Stadium from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. A Bayer Piso. Make out a Rhapsody apartment. And so say Oko Ghana. Now be a lodge. Na be 1 week be 2 weeks be. Now we say Rhapsody apartment. Short and long stay. Into more discounted packages that comes at a reduced rate. Electricity in the one over slotto, $50 a night, free Wi-Fi and DSTV, and a airport pickup into free. Plus 233 5538 30229 and plus 44744 5311 265. Rhapsody Properties at yahoo.com. North Legon, Soa Peaceful Lane, Abloy J to do airport pe na car be foul. Minka will say Step Ahead Foods and so Ghanaian Unity to call most of the leading shops are Ubenye B Elho and to call more brands ne bohun. Step Ahead Foods more soft golden tropical bread, authentic banku perfectly prepared for true home style experience and signature fanti dokno any de keka huna. Step Ahead Food number no 074 976 563 09 074 976 563 09 and admin at Step Ahead Foods Minka also say, yeah, Papa, Sofo Abraham Lamte Ministries at the UK, the second UK edition of the Heart of Worship Baso. Na Baso, Bula Land, the Beulah Land International, 6 Westmoreland House, the Cumberland Park, Scrops Lane, London NW10 6RE. Baso Titu One na Esther Smith and so Ebetonium Wasi. Na Sofo Ibrahim Lanti last year obeye Jumidi Ewo UK Abonten so a UK edition of the Heart of Worship or signed their a free entry and free car park on the site. Into for more information bet me scanning the code or register. And now for more information bet me afre +44 7428 414 869. It is Saturday, the 29th of August. Time no is 5 p.m. sharp. It is so for Abraham Lamte from Ghana, all the way in the UK. Now, or the UK edition, the second edition of the Art of the Worship. So yeah, the edition of Art of Worship. On in Esther Smith and so ebe bonyum was in Tian so. And I pay so many cows a silent night guest house ewo Kumasi. So utu kwanko or say krum na udru ho a na guess unim say so unye baby dream ho kakra na u take breeze. No hono silent night resident guest house no wo yeah esu yebu Kumasi 15-minute drive from Prempeh International Airport. The bano say uko holidays be na say uko shebusua for uko srebusua ni adea na get say beautiful furnished luxury and suite rooms with super king size beds, air conditioned modern comfort and a delicious complimentary breakfast that will be prepared for you, especially say wakoho be di eduane na we try we no spedede when at the time to dine, treat yourself on authentic Ghanaian cuisine. Ghanaian humanity to elho so of spacious areas are about the elegant garden, stylish event spaces, executive boardroom, modern conferences facility provide the perfect setting for you. Beautiful wedding engagement, celebration, conferences, corporate retreat, graduation parties, family gathering, and memorable celebration of every kind. Like I said, no, a silent night resident guest house. I will come and say for 054 094 2916 now 079 304 214 95 into a silent night Kumasi at gmail.com. The guy also say E&J handyman about carpentry works, door fixing and hanging fixing of kitchen wardrobes and wooden floors. And you E&J handyman on 07432402117. Africa Helps UK. Now Akweside UK Baso in the Africa Helps UK. Now just say partners and the UK House of Chiefs, Queens, in collaboration with the Ghana Tourism Authority at the Akweside UK by a grand celebration of inclusive tourism, culture, heritage, and royal tradition, working with the youth in support of inclusive health and education. HM O24 or said to His Majesty, and so will be in his presence. Basu York Garden, Community 34, Lavender Road, Wandsworth, London, XW 112 UG, from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday, the 30th of August 2026. And the Yamaming Nana Hima Amonu Jemfua Debra Asantufu Hima UK and Ireland, Governor in the UK. And so, Hobintian so, Bay Jumidi Sunko. Fred Jasi Ebusia, Kuku Nkrumah, and the entire family. And so, Kause, Mammy, Mrs. Nyakun, Nyakun, our free monofitra, the Ashanti region. Nikuno Jan Hoyer, Robert, Mr. Robert, Reverend Robert Nyakun, and T. Yeno, Ebebaso on Ome, your burial service on Friday. Friday the 28th, Ochna, our Trinity Presbyterian Church of Ghana. Postcode near exit 12 OLQ from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Now, Kujane Chikwine, our Green Ark Cemetery, Green Ark Communal Cemetery at 2:30 p.m. Saturday, in the Bebaso, our Harris Academy, postcode near exit 15 Delta Zebra at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And on Sunday will be Thanksgiving service at Christ Redeemer Church, London International from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Progress Hall, London, postcode here XE91SL. Siblings, Mr. Stephen Amwating, Kumase, Auntie Akusua De Atonsu, Ama Chimwa Takwa, Amelina Accra, Sofumame Akusua Cham, Ghana Kumase, and her children, Ruth Nana Ya Obobi UK, Mrs. Angela Atakra, Mame Aseda Tele, and Mrs. Priscilla Dinchi, and Mrs. Claudia, Dapa UK, Yen Shensu Elho. And a postman cow say, you be my principal, the papa, no, and Subabaso, 5th September, United Reformed Church, Grange Park Road, Leighton, London, E105 EP, nearest train station, Leighton Station, Central Line, Midlands, and Suffragette Line, bus 58 158 69 and 97. Alfred Drama and number 079132 32778. Mahilda was 079 432 32189. And another Kwame number no 079 494 93990. And the papa, Mr. Stephen, Anania Mankwa, A.K. Duku, Bema principal, the papa Nimponia, 73 years. Dianko na yenti na enche yebeko amatrofuni dun command pay on Hot Digital Online UK. And it's about 6 more minutes to the top of the hour. And yenko na yenti inuya bema Kofi B. I say Bantuma Kwesi Bwachi, Unyebia Sebi. Yanko inuna yenti yumina yambonite wana pay. Hot Digital. Time from the UK weather report and pay weather nemu enye papebia 19 degrees Celsius this morning, very cozy atmosphere. Now in the UK weather, UK metropolitan news. Bantama Kwesi Boache, the departed soul, Inuya Bema, Kofi B, and I ate in canopy. Now, 33 people from UK, including a 13-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy, are among hundreds of missing following a deadly flash flood near Nepal. In Tokro Krobit said Nepal, a war around Pakistan and Indian enclave. Nepal police said about 177 bodies had now been recovered from affected areas and 33 people were receiving treatment. Nepal National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority said 826 people are missing, and the Nepal Tourism Board saying that 644 tourists are out of contact into Asemesi Ewo Nepal. Nepal Eko and Sashe Woho 644 tourists are out of contact. Prime Minister Andy Burnham said, in his touch with the local authorities, will do everything they can to support the British national, urging those in the region to follow the guidance from the local authority and follow our travel advice. The UK Foreign Office said it is working closely with Nepalese authorities following concerns report of British nationals who are missing, and who has also encouraged the Brits to follow local guidance and also remain alert to the changing situation. According to the police, 113 of the missing tourists are Nepalese and 54 are from US. And the rescue team struggling to reach the disaster zone after more than 160 killed in Nepal. That is the Tibet flash. Exclusion of what has happened. Like I say, it is a damning report. Na Nepal and so the province around India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and a very small country. People love to pay visit and go for tourism. Now, it is rather something that it really mind-boggling. Say, nipeni biara na nipa be nipa dodo nanso na efrimu na won hwehwe bi a British for, be America for, one construction. When you say man from there, tourism domini jumpanti rescuers struggling to reach disaster zone after more than 160 killed in Nepal. Tibet flash. Excursion company Alpine Eco Trek, which also offers guided expedition and tour in Nepal, confirmed to the BBC that it has not been able to establish contact with a group of 12 Britons who were booked on tour to Mount Kailash and also were in their region where the flash struck. According to the company's travel logs shared with the press association, age of the missing British ranged between 13 to 65. It said that the youngest member of the group was 13-year-old girl. The company said it had made attempt to also charter a rescue helicopter, but were unable to fly due to poor conditions, and will continue to help the ongoing rescue effort on Thursday. The satellite imagery show the landslide in Nepal dragged the slider to see the impact of the landslide near the Tibet border. And it's a terrible scene where it has reported that 4 of the firm's Nepal tour guides are also missing. The company manager Kumar Adikri said he was in contact with the guides until 8:40 when they were expected to be at Tibet immigration office, but their phones were disconnected. And we are hoping that inside it was safe, and told the PA. But later the video also came from China government, which shows that even Tibet side hit by the flood. And a serious issue I see a war Nepal, a serious matter I see anope and ra ewo Nepal na just nipa bebre na na ira ni bo ngusu ehwe bi ebe ko enim na to admede so anope hot digital online UK 11 o'clock sharp na yama emuso na sofo a champon e de nyamsem no ebe brain the word of God e de be brain ti enko enim na ento admede so anope hot and out here and I you
Quarantine. Michia Chiagana for Michia me Braquaquia, Freddie Maywe, me hoon a dantino. With the Hina Bomodi Abana, Metima Abe, the shouldn't be on it, Master Cogentry. Vai, now Trump, ni tuno a oye yinano, say Canada for supply 20 states electricity. Everyone I'm covering news is almost say Wama Canada for tariff 50%. I bet I say first January 2027. And the best I say. And I say, my main research say Canada, so a day no more or the America. And I mean, say 20 states of United States and Canada for Ontario and Quebec for no more electricity. New York, California, Minnesota, South Dakota, and also 20 states. And no more electricity. Not that I say Canada for to my crash American economy. And Trump no to know any areas on Okasa, it will be an Casabino. Well, just ocean in your year, 20 states will like with that Canada, no Qualcas on Mamma electricity, 20 states will be dark. A bedroom, it's also so man also the areas again on Quadia. I feel here quite never know. President Mama Muslim way, what friend is saying. Ubia Kokase or a scammer. And the Montibida Patrick is on Tibida. Patrick, Ubacano crap, Papano, was scam Ghana for. Because we say 3 shifts. Ube provided in Jumana 3 shifts. Ibibakwana, Bibakwa Yimre. Where is it? And now what kind of Ghana for Gina so almost to Abama. Now what Banasi knew what they are. What scam Ghana for? What's the cocoa for Sika President Kufado, Edema Omono, Esha, and to Uba 2, Ubaya, what's that to rider? What's Ghana for? What's the gains and semi? Would the Uba Paul best or to now to Ubaya, I feel quite also on Fanqua classroom and coach here and coach church at the chef for. I feel quite there was say, and no yet priority. I don't know, you know, so the year campaign. Another scammer. What's Ghana for? Just also teacher lanzation exam oba ubetwem eno wo de campaign oba ya pre what's come Ghana for enema papa na kanyina wo say galamse oba ube declare within 1 week ube declare ama omofansa suacha state of emergency na suacha Ghana for jina so to abama so ube to my edin de ma now by Africa West. What's Ghana for? It is Obi Casa President Mama Yaskama. Patrick, Montias, what's Ghana for? Monkoto go Dumbraswa, Masako Baka. Me a cana banum ponyami may concern say almost see Omaton gold enya 28 billion US dollars. Where is the money? I am asking 28 billion US dollars now. Gold board is Omaton Enyano. Where is the 28 billion US dollars? Muntumintia teacher foka. Muntumintia nurse foka. Se nurse in year Juma. 1 year, 4 months. Chisa or the basin that you call demonstration. Akatuano so Emma. Teacher in year Juma. Chisa Okokunto Kwansana Motrianaka. Why is that 28 billion US dollars? President Kufuado enya this 28 billion US dollars nka the lot of kwankwa ebetu yem sikala moba mojiri yehubi dia moye we cannot point out one thing that President Mama take you over why a memorandum yebetu me dia kai no and the President Kufuado 1 year will take you over pedo implement free SHS when you take over pedo the ambulances ebegu amanum what banti mienu na ekomi ade na why Papa no, I a fraudster, I a scammer.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Va. Good morning.
Morning, Kwame, ain't you?
Kwame and this Greenwich. Va. And let the Amene Okazay, Nana Mebekasi Ramahama, a year, some not train anymore car park, you know. By a story building at 207 hotels, nominate car parks, BBA, and that they are 27 for year, my more catastrophe. From bear 10 to bear 11 more on a better life for news, a month for who so catastrophe that you are not Becoso. Na va me wo me spiritual father bi ya be ne bom pa me ko Ghana so me ko ho na o ka se bi kire me nyira nyumbe na me hu dre me. See, Yera Mahama. So, because yes, I'm tribunal bills and a tribunal bills now at the core parliament. No, my dear, to and 5 years and so na ya to Abamawa, will be instead of 4, no, you call 5, no, so I passed the bill. Now, panel meeting home for more, you're a soft no catch him, say, Ghana for the force Yera Mahama, Mana Sako Beam. Now, almost force on that. Obedi 5 aka 4 no ho amana koye 9 years nipa bi sabe take over from him on so beko 5 years do 19 years the NDC betena so Ghana for be check Mahama so tantina so na asemo a wo kan papa no so me panasem pa o ka asemo a me kwa me be ma baba be bo nyina o ta chire bi a chese o ka asemo a va me gini dipa asenya me de twuma.
Okay.
If your term is there, the narrative will change and Ghanaians will believe in any piece of the business man. 80 over time, the Papa Day, or the 19 years, was used to mess repeating itself. It's the MPP party in the bedroom, but the crowd joining NDC because of the benefit. I think that I'm not saying. Expressway, this is more just or more connected to. Also, almost start to crying on the Baba is almost just almost Asia or more. Because the military crime, a statement to be able to was a person who ended passenger car be out breakfast because now no bet me and drive through that to Accra. But almost say a year allowed. Wow, be sick one as an over or Juma.
All right.
NPP party ni va omo da makoma so ba de da makoma so no ze me person omo ntenase omo hihye party because va the omo kafa NDC omo kafa ento Ghana for us because omo hu put to meko ba obehwe mu politics sometimes you can criticize the government in some handsome way.
Yati Kwame yendasi no bi sumrebi yendasi papa mama thank you
yo metobia Sinsum be you waiting ma. Sinsum be you waiting ma. Sinsum be you waiting ma. Sinsum wafo. Hey, it's my sinsum. Jesus Christ, oh yeah, mommy, ne brother. Amen. As I'm working in and work in Canada. Na America, awesome. So Canada for Sarah. We bet to make chorus even America. My boy.
What's all over there?
So what's Sarah there? The next time for you now. They can collapse America. Ne bilika. Nana Anna Payne, walk out in Wabu, Mr. Dutchess, and your jaja, Matamu Wuda. And as the Asama Kenya, Mr. Yes, Kwame is back. The spirit is hovering in Ghana. And you ma wa wasama. You can go to smile, clean yourself in the small water. Mawara can run a Canada even is more powerful because of resources than America. The same thing like in Zama. In Zama have all the resources. Now in Zama swana ye king kakwaka nobody. Our Cape Coast is the king of Nzimaland. No one our bed when you do our powers hammer. Into our commission, Kwame spirit is back. It do back. NDC, continue and do the work.
Okay.
You are encouraged by the right spirit. They are not powerful than the NDC Kwame Pata. King Kakwaka because of that nobody will keep casted. The king of Nzimala. One coffee. Do you think you are superior? The man where you walk to come and where you cool, Mrs. Smafa walk cool one walk, and you were someone lying. What is your name? Kaku, Amicia. This was someone lying more than 24. Oh, spell when you know and what kind of my profession is the soldier have to kill. How are you? You were killed in the Paris Square. When
Mama, Kona competitive, Naja and Kruma non done. I also have Kruma.
No can, and this is bad. Parents and Papa.
Giant Kruma non Gino, Wada, Irasi.
I'm
sorry, Jawada, Jan, we walk. Oh, yeah, Jana life man, na uncle. Quampega and you.
Yo, do me that sine Aquina. As I so, Chroma. Only existing in the history.
I want to know the Kruma.
The only the lazy people. Also, young man Kruma, the vision Anthony and carry on after his demise. People are more about omonka a year historical crisis. And say na true. Who build the history on lies? Sanity. Okay. Meaning either is out of laziness. Or what to say will be a teenage now. And so now a cool, a manuqua, a fairly CPP. Our more teenly be up to the vision of Nkroma. A child said, near money baby, the leader no, now autosimi. Only infallible, sending a more preaching today. Uncle, to make to turn in the year, JB Dankwamo, they left a legacy, and we are still carry on. Look at that new patriotic party. And T-Mobile, and you blame yourself, say, why is such a person, I hear preaching at all, not say Ghana for we couldn't live up to his expectation. An opinion maker, a Ukrainian to Nepal, Unia, who ye papa, serious. And Unia. MSM monitor kakana o share a year in showing the way everything on the the death toll no crown sesselano emo hupa yasina nkasana the star moon to me na ya buy kroma and if I made the communicators led by Yenya emotions and Yenya by airborne chidom afi Yenyanoma Omaofa Omoho voluntarily Kasama party. Okay. Send another Misha D Kai na me damisa di afi papa and ra or sendene George Orwell the Animal Farm less good for less bad. Yes. I read it years ago. Now exactly so. And then near Mama Misabri when we say it's a scammer. The dodgy antis are authority Ghana for Dimunia and Muchibie. Now, Osha Satan, the way George Orwell is crafty a unit etchayena. The point is a no dinner or all ye who preach and say what the 24-hour economy ever. Yan Yamamuna, Yibuna, Papa. Kikan Sembe Bray and Ikofobi, Ejitum, Oba Valentine, Ubi Sase. And your ma and you be a mama torture Ghana for a moody policy initiative. Paying as Abri, waiting a rulia. I hear beneficiary Ghana for. Okay, so a French economy no is being sustained. Now, a non Kuan near to Abama, and never only a French survey about 56% of Ghanaians are living in poverty. This is a man the second term in you. And one in the people should understand me where I'm coming from. You cannot compare a Kufuado to a year that of Mama. Because when you have another opportunity or opportunity, and what Kusian Yan, as far as I'm concerned, also what Kusian Yan Saba. So when I expected from your mama, we cannot match that to that of a Kufuado or any other predecessor. What about Omenso? Okay. That is how I was a Moshe in free. So also to be pa mama na we nyemu emphasis wo ye se mitimi kokotena fie and Ghana for ase nya me mugidie and now toy 133 to say na emisa e kan ye no bi de na yegina kwanche e ka tire Ghana for se munnim de nipa mo to abama no because we are very incompetent and everywhere he goes the tag is on him. He doesn't also go to such a person. They kind of want it. And no one said what yaka can say on chain. A friend at Tribuna issue you can't watch it. Once we passes so many bills. When Ethiopia and you know what do you bring on board? The people are expecting you say one check table, you know, and now about 40% will greater Accra region go on. And I'm this Silunia. Mesre yama nyuku imu. Yama kwa imu bi achre na den. Ye kwa koto aba ayi national executives. Kwa me interest. The interest in any say ye pe nipa a wobetumi abo adwuma ne why be pay. Chairmanship no me free say JB. And you were any dissenting view. And now somebody also came say a friend say yama kwa. And so people encourages a friend say indiscipline. Obia or non neponyo so party o join unia huseswa. You cannot actually join a political party.
Okay.
The assign wo mu bie mu ne say a friend is saying say obana ubenya huseswa. For afoko ana make na ho ase. Me say on hwe track record. I'm not saying say you in free. Yes, I believe in reconciliation. But the fact is we cannot entrust certain positions into some people's hands because of more effort and record be on my yes, he's part of our party. But the point is, position be on our Pepe, we will refer you back what you did.
What you did. Nini, let's hear you.
Well, these are the people who made us who make us to go forward and coming back. Forward and coming back. Look, he said J.B. Dongwa did what? He left what sort of legacy did J.B. Dongwa leave? What sort of legacy? A corrupt legacy? A hated legacy? And forward mouth legacy? Come on, what are they talking about? Look, if they don't take care, we are going to support the mama to come back again. I'm telling you. We will support because of your noise that you make in MPP. MPP, like my brother Kwame, welcome. Like my brother Kwame said, we have to, go and sit down and make a very good plan before you come back. Look at what you are. You are disgracing yourself. You are disgracing yourself.
No fight. What do you call it? 3-1. A 3-1 that we talk about. If you build a factory. Don't fight. There's not a fight we are fighting here.
No, I'm not fighting.
No, you are in government. You promised and you failed. So can't somebody criticize you? You failed. So accept you failed and then come with some convincing, policies.
We are not up to 2 years. They were there for 8 years.
So you take your time and explain to them. That is your duty. You don't fight.
I listen. There is no explanation you give to these people and they will accept. No, you don't explain.
So you don't fight because when you fight, you lose grounds. John Mahama coming back does not guarantee that Ghanaians will vote for him because your performance would determine your fate when you are going back to the ballot box. So it's not about we want to bring him. You are bringing him, will not help your democracy you want to build in NDC because NDC you have people. You don't have one person. You have people who are competent, and he himself can be a leader and be a flag bearer. So why are you thinking that one person should be the trajectory for every time? One person. Why, we don't have anybody in NDC?
I agree.
It's an abuse.
Sometimes we become so much emotional. Because of their submission. You have to tread cautiously. Because of their submission. We are working. Ghanaians have seen what we are going. Ghana is under construction. If they have done it, we could have continued, but they didn't do it. We met economy that has been ruined by these people. And the same people are going on the street, the same people are going on internet, the same people are going online.
You guys cannot take the heat. You guys cannot take the heat.
Come on, NPP.
You guys cannot take the heat.
NDC, yeah? NDC, we don't have the men, we get them. We have the people, and we get the men from the people.
Okay, I hear you.
So tell them they should
Bani, I don't see you and hear you endorsing the Siedun Ketias coming. Why are you being myopic on that one? Because it seems you look as if you are being partial in your judgmental of choosing a candidate.
NDC, the way we are like cat. You see a cat will stay on top, and when the ground is safe, then the cat will jump down. So we are like that. We don't rush like the MPP.
No, Bani, but to be honest with you, John Mahama has executed his time. He has been the most fortunate person to have all these years. Why don't you groom somebody if, per the argument, you always want to bring John Mahama? John Mahama says he's not going again. Why do you want to force him from the back. It's like
okay, but there's something I want to ask the NPP.
Quickly,
so if you think your mama hasn't learned sense, he stay at home for so many years and he's coming back, he hasn't done anything, he's not doing board, he's not performing. Why are you scared that if you say he's coming back, you should stop? Because he hasn't done anything and his opponent can beat him easily.
Kwame Pekan will take you to court. He will summon you.
They're scared of John. They're scared of John too.
Let's thank you. Let's thank you. Thank you very much. Kofi Francis Yentio na nini di otie na.
Van.
Yeah.
Onu ni wa we e be man Ghana go back to Holland why? Oye oba ye stadium no be disturb ya. E be man Bonini can be work. David Van mamene nkasa. Can be work. I asked Nini what constituency is he from in Accra? He can't tell me. I'm from Ododio.
He say he's a God Dangbe.
He's God, now he's a God Dangbe. Yeah. Only now fool. As one I down you jibu ebene. I'm gonna God Dangbe. Dangbe bengo. God Dangbe enjo like nye no mene o. Tacholete. Sam George. Eh? Back from Brown God Dangbe. Okay. Let me go straight. Van, analyze baby. Senator Jeffrey Carter, the president, you know. He shouldn't have been a president. It's true. Because Nini Animal implicated what no be brave. We reported from America by Nebuchadnezzar need new woman. You know, it doesn't serve well for Ghana. It's the accountability, you know. Any Ghana. Ghana, Ghana, your accountability power. Accountability is more Ghana.
Accountability said,
say, Obia, or claim, or politics more Ghana. Government team. Because let me give you a scenario. Agriculture minister no okay to be ekokumo bi okoshe ne mpaase eno nko anka kromo an unya politics your political obituary is gone, right? Atu forcing and then I'm found is only a finance minister, we are governor of Bank of Ghana, we sports minister, what they say
sports minister
Ghana sports minister, or they say
Kofi Adams.
There is something implicating them. If we want to build a good structure of governance now, they shouldn't even. So, more competent people making them about say, oh, these people their hands are clean.
Okay.
But you always have people that you have something to say about them. When you say it, and don't just say you are disrespecting them, because we've learned from Western world say, Obiji Oji Edai Kampo and so Jimpo, ye bet me in Eddie. But Ghana, your parliamentarians for my double salary, Omasa parliament, Omo parliamentarian. In the accountability, where is that? Even our speaker was also implicated in that. Where is the accountability? What Ghana? People can say, oh, NDC, we are here to reset. What reset are they doing with the same people? But you get what I mean?
Okay, go Francis. And I was once only the adults. Yeah, that's Papa. One soon there was we.
Mr. Valentine, good morning.
Morning. Quiet you.
Yo, I'm a Munia Juma, Michelle Jack. Coffee first, Michelle, Compecam. Let me say, Obaya, that's what I can say. Ma'am, Mama Sewa, Obenpon, and Nana Kwame, a Chamina, Tete Bobia, Mammy for support, Mammy as a bedroom. Of a dear one walking a chamu. In fact, and before us and Bion Kayan and Cray. Say, Akola Fokote, Idiaswa, the penitive Bobicono, Akolin Ruda. So, you boom minus say, you don't Uncle Asaba, Hagini. She said, I'm Colantifi as you, Open Tiffy as it. we are going to support your mama to come again. Why can't you support your mama to live forever? Nyanko for Sama. Yes, so that's your mama. We do be more until my brother at Twitter. Tell this party that the woman JM sans or no and no beaching democracy. Ama why do PBR Southern money home. So yeah, more in Pesa Africa. And so more minority a Ghana. Who person of Fagana as a Wodia? Water region, northern region, any greater Accra. You are the minority. Oh, and when you can fully be, I won't be a dear one, and we do much. Oh, and if I be brave you, and no man be see one more. If I be fighting for democracy, and I am human. It's more maintain democracy. No, I'm not just a money deal, but it is. I'm not just a modern window, but that. Oh, we tell so, and I demo. As Mobile Munyas and Colasam and Colasam and Colas, or Mania get you. And now we can say, oh, a Chananigo. Winchima and also Jim home. We drew in Chima now about the custom. And the custom said, the answer there, Wolfrigan and Asabia would him dear also cry. With their good DNS, we are going to support him. I'm not better chance. I was also supported your mama, and your mama, or Tasso forever. That's maybe why.
What's up, you?
Hello,
yes, sir.
Good morning, I'm a problem pony.
Oh, I'm going to on a pay.
I'm a pay. Also, for Aqua David, Mitchell on the pay, Minia, Kwame Thames Smith, Kwame Peckham, Fred, Lee, and Uncle Joe, Nanabwadi, Mitchell Munina will be a Minia Marumina Mitchell. One time. Yeah. His Excellency, President Mahama, take our board on a pay home. A Bibia Metia Biano, Metin several times, but a Bibia Metia Biano, no many who send me a Ghanaian. Now, not a yemi yase Ghana for Aqua Sunlight, Aqua Tuaba, Ama Subain Bitse, President Mahama. I didn't make us asking me. Or mine say, what dear? Many BBI, better what I did, my benwood, BBI, bet the Bamau. Dana ding, not a boy who bind, not shay and so, not take a decision now. A bear affected the lives of the people. Now, by ya, or how can see a many Ghana for? Kunipa, say near ma Galamsey. Not president, I saw your communication specialist. It's me, but catch the Ghana for say. Galamsey no, and no. And I increase gold export and I support to Ghana economy. Galam say no, and I employ youth because there's youth unemployment. And the President Mama party say, o nim die ni answer bia say, economy na idea sending sano, or ideas be say obetimi improve economy no other than say Galam say na say eniema and no mo na ono na ni nyansa mu no e be boa ama Ghana economy na yi. You na enya adwuma nye no President Mama ni nyansa mu ni say Galamsey no ene betimi ama youth no enye adwuma ye. Galamsey no a emma kidney problems e wo long term effect ha e wo say as a leader, as a president no ye find a solution no wo asema be kan ye no e kire say o support to say Galamsey no ye den enkoso if you say buy ye do buy ye no unim die ni nyansa bia wo betimi dia boa economy no unim die ni nyansa bia de boa youth no enti na part with that unim die ni nyansa bia wo betimi ama ye sika no agina yisi de agina because the agina ye obi anim say artificial through Galamsey enti such a person no na ye timi anya nipa bi ti say me ni obusonfo aba say nananum nhira no ba nananum a mu nhira no yehu enhira no esunsunsanso sese bi an roba okobokro no na ososidi a so okoda ni nyankopon ase say wasosidi but omo okokun no omo de omo di areho the same thing na an roba spirit no omo bomb president Mama ho ban a omo mani sosidi in his evil doing no hwe atoyente meto Ghana no oye den okwaso dem kodasi abra Ghana for edi apinisie ayere ahwo no no so ayeden wakodasi because an robber no okoso CD for robbing or for say was succeeding.
Yeah,
It's the
they-
same thing. And obosom for empire no a year juma na a year juma no you see an outcome. Her name is Ghana. Na share subaya Mahama Eda and Edi. Excess ampa obosom for empire no a year juma pa.
Yeah, they-
No a year a home na omo evil no omo support no.
Yendasi. Upon into.
Van.
Yes, sir.
That's my power.
Okay.
You, after my Rebecca, Papa, okay.
Sir.
Now, President Mahama, or you'll be a manager as a fine gentleman.
Okay.
But nipa bia when you must say my Obekano, and a man ye who nipa su away. When I hear the first, when I hear the president of the land, and you the economy no assurance, you do a minor assurance. See, because the means here, we say Galamsey now, all campaigning against you know. Say you just Galamsey ni ya economy no, ebe break it down. Nipa be as a business strategist, no. Oh yeah, business and a business person be no. Yeah, catch now say I was say on your plan A, plan B, plan C. This is plan A and far. Now what's which you call plan B? The President Mahama per se on any penny for umu boom no. Apart from Galamsey na ebejina economy no. Ye nim say say environment ede oye ne kese abre oman no. Nipa ewu a ye hu physical effect enkola matan ene enura kra na yeti esi enura ye num nyina no affect no. Ai traditional medicine for you. See enuro ni nyina aban ne ngria ni nyina affect no. Nti say oman na ebe affect oman mu ni pa nyina no. Yensu a ye num nyina. The President Mahama person say oni plan B bia odi beboa ma economy no agina. Ya wetina se na utie sansem na. Na say ya say we your mind ba. Because your leaders you know ni ideas ya. Di best sustain ama economy na agina than say ye be kwa bobosia. Amanfo froso. Ene biem. And to ya umuye no man nim no. Are hopi because we see unni sika would be gina economy no. You can say say nurses for into your muka, teachers for into your muka. And so when you ska at the starting new projects. We say a crime for we a cry to Kumasi. And when you study a question you, much scam with cow. Meanwhile, I don't know, near all that yaka ni papi, I can say, won't first and finish it that a quine on Masia Crowd Road, a cum nipa, the beer cum nipa. I don't know, finish it now, at least when you do from Accra to Kumasi. Now, and Yasum gave Emma a 24. It's Nina, Tressa, your man penning for now, di or minus or no. Yours MPP. Nipa pi edi enya disappointment mumu because me de minya disappointment MPP mu ane haircut na de buy no. Okay. Because omu dru baby ana omu hu ni a omunye dan say omu be kwa kwagye pensioners for sika na eno are wo ena Ghana for twiti a omu na onso ye de wa ba Galamsey na wo campaigning yese omu enye omu President Nanado state of emergency now. More campaigning against you know. And idea more massage no. Okay. Van. Yeah, we're quite each other.
That's it. That's I was referring to you.
Yo, Valentine, me that's it. John Dramani Mahama, yeah, Vice President. And by name, media for some mammy bono. Now, Valentine, me, but you made this my bomb Payama, Nepal President and a China President, and they'll try to reach him out to war.
Yeah.
Or can you say, open pole? And I sympathize my main sympathy and comma Nepalese for them, Fonibia, or Cremoso, and a China. Na Accra now more ashore Munkano Sono. the modern refrigerator. In Jobrimpo, a body idea, and I walk on a body and I make a make sure volunteer share the distraction about the flat. Me say, a home near your mutio, everything nipa the new babato ye, quiet a suo mepo, home to mission, and Nahokwa. Tis all you be as a woman winning car body and now is a obit me, I this also distraction to nature anyhow now. And yet, a body now we one now we have. It's your best we should be responsible in taking care of nature. Make Hanami the Kusikalam say, Yamiadum, legally, you're checking pin back where you to me our dem Sisia, our den Stasia, body Sasima as a Yanko, and before so see all Konya reclamis. But oh, the Nipa Bon Fubia, a Bachino, or many we cry Miss on them forever, Crumpo. We cry in Yank on them forever.
Also for Jason now.
Oh, Papa, Valentine.
President Mama, or see, Galamsi, no boy, and also then I'll catch it.
Or so on Conye be on Conye Galamsi.
I don't know, per se, who's here, or almost 40 in your state. Who's here, no, I don't know. Or no man being no so I would push it.
So say Galamsi and Casano. The definition of Galamsi no depend on Nipa or
remember interpretation. May say or see Galamsi.
No, he was irresponsible mining. Galamsi say you don't know fitity or more Galamsi. I won't find and distracted.
Don't play with our intelligence. Oh, now, sa nepotism name. Or tiny idea na DBA no. And why?
Oh, David, let me
give you a little because Nipano or Mampini are some more kind, no. Dangerous. Into Wabano, your position is to condemn what the president said. But you are trying to massage the issue. You are saying the people are doing this. Now, who knows supported your Mampini? Coming one or no Mampini, yeah, Nepal are some working. Flood. Say, who to 2 on Mona, Ned Dawa. One day you should be taught. Na tsunami be bad. Na and also because let's be fair to what we are doing.
Yeah. So almost any American and they say Galamsey now all cano. Valentine Galamsey me I've always say mining is not an issue. Irresponsible mining is an issue. But I know say political or in general no.
They gave a promise. Say illegal Galamsey no. I say in Jomba, state of emergency, no man yet. And on no case, and on a boy because I'm not going to you my womb.
What we say, what define Galamsey? What define Galamsey? It's illegal.
So it means council now only wag is obey accepted defeat. What the council near?
Debbie, what was say? As an American,
no, the council
we all know is a mind.
Don't give any explanation. Yanko in Yanko.
Well, anyway, American say John Mahama, and as the MPP keep creating the impression, say what Bamo Mane say and all that, they are not being honest with themselves. But I don't fault them because I don't expect, like I keep saying, say it will be politically insane for an MPP or a person of opposition to come and appreciate and admire the president. It's fine, but they exaggerate it. They exaggerate to the extent is that Niama Papa Krano. They are forcing scandal upon scandals. They are trying to force it on the government now. Let's be honest with our criticisms. The economic benefits are Abba. Valentine Mekana, if people say, let's look at the nuisance taxes and the levies that have been scrapped off. And who is going to tell me, say, is not bringing any relief to the Guardian? Share the stability of the city. Emra, but we are buying some container, spare parts, may book almost 15,000 euros due to exchange rate. And then on Kamede container, Ghana, I'm going to make gains. At least I'll get my money back. So it means the environment is now conducive for business people to thrive. So what are we talking about?
All right.
It's Valentine. Hello.
Me and you.
Good morning. Me share your phone. Me pa chow pay na what can be say visa wasem. Na say me see a coffee ye Ghana card and ye British passport. A continent she be nya visa na pacho.
Da we change your Ghana card now.
Okay, with your British passport. Okay. Men call myself so woman very and be a on betting a man and I say Senya obosom for yede wase ene nananom asɛm a woka no nti wo bɔ mpaeɛ na bɔne den ne bɔne yie because ɔman na ɛwɔ hɔ sisei no ato anibere because yɛ ma ne yɛ nananom ne yɛn nyinara a yɛwɔ akwantuo mu ebi ka yɛn because nia keka kɔ no sɛ Mr. President wamfa ne na yɛnsi fam na wansɔpo galamsey for 1 year ne yɛanhwɛ asase na anyɛ ne yie a wɔn kɔkɔɔ na wɔn ani da so de bɛduru baabi koraa no yɛntɔ because nneɛma bebree wɔn ma yɛmfa mma kurom ha bio adan ne yɛte ɔman mu na nnipa binom ato aba sɛ Mr. President Mahama ɔnsan mmra na waba na wɔdi nnipa hwɛmbɔ saa adan nti ɔman no mpanimfoɔ nim ka Mr. President ho anaa ɛwɔ so wɔn yɛhwɛ ne yɛde nneɛma toto yie Ghana na ɛwɔ hɔ no sɛbisɛbɛ nyɛ NDC foɔ nko adeɛ o ɛyɛ obiara a ofiri Ghana nyinaa ne dia anaasɛ metuma kasa ahɔhoɔ nyinaa ka ho bi adan ne yɛsɔfa saa sisi wo kofi a woyam hyehyɛw wonim ne awokɔ akɔfa adie na wasoa yareɛ de aba abɛto ho so nti yɛka asɛm na ɔbosomfoɔ kan yie ne gya asɛ ne abibia wo ba na wo bɛbɔ papa na ba so no nneɛma papa no yɛ no ɛnkɔ yie sese no sɛ Ghanafoɔ bɛtumi a saa parties ne mienu no ɛwɔ sɛ de wɔn to nkyɛn because wɔn ba wɔsmɛkyi wei mɛyɛ sei ɛnso still yɛgyina faako nso yɛkɔ 90 ada ne yɛsɔfa saa ɔman Ghana sɛ minim sɛ asɛm a yɛkan mpanimfoɔ mbɔ Ghana wɔn mu tie paa na wɔn mfa nyɛ kɛtɛ ne sumiɛ nsuo na sɛ yo ɔfen ne ne yɛkeka ho pura nsuo bebree asɛe nti yɛnhwɛ yɛ nyamea bufuhyia bɛba yɛ so papaapa monhwɛ nea asi baabi na ɛnnɛ ne nano ne kyene ya adan na Ghanafoɔ moyɛ nyaatwom saa mpanimfoɔ yɛde ɔman no ahyɛ mo nsa adan mopɛ mo nko a mo deɛ monwene daakye deɛ na sɛ ɔmmra wɔ ɔman no mu a ka nneɛma bi wɔ hɔ a ntumi nyɛ saa Mr. President Mahama wobaeɛ no wo so wobɛ restart or whatever research across Kumasi Road ɛda hɔ ɛwɔ sɛ no na wohwɛ na wosiesie na wobae mu na nyɛ sɛ wokɔ akɔyɛ express road na mabɔ yɛ korɔ no sika na ɛwɔ hɔ nom no Mr. President yɛka m wate hwɛra no woamfa wo nsa anka Ghana sika sɛ wobɛsesa sika bio sɛnea adwumi bi atwam Rollins bɛyɛɛyɛ no wate yɛka kyerɛ wa m wate yɛyɛ din ne yɛhwɛ wo ɛna wode ɔman no ɛto jackpot na ahɔhoɔ aba mu akorɔ no ne awudie yɛma ne yɛ nananom Ghana please Mr. Nyawodo, so whoever, what's your from for Nadia now? Your womb. Woman, obi menkan anaasị obi board there any I don't know. When you woman and mama community labor because Ghana krono aye fin na woman sugar them say anaasị woman bokro no akese to some ministers ni bi no mo fa woman na mo nyai sa mo kasika na mo si dan na mo den krofo din atoto so no nipa kra ya di obi din ba to bi su bia minister bia nipa kra no yan kwahye nipa kra da di adwuma nipa kra no ye ade o man Ghana
na wa charge that's pa why oba into oba
good morning Val
morning now who ye
adom na so e
baby aboko into one of
yo me share the kan for any etifo nyina said the kwame kan ye no yenye new communication director but me the almost say nyimi free holder nti I'm still on my post
okay
nti no ye bo ye nua be ma na baso ye be bo ne chidom said they say ne fata the whole word communication ne die MPP yuka unya baby e bi nti kwame ye bo mu nyina ma baso yankopon hyiram mo ne edikanfo mo amache wo radio so ewo communication ho pa kwame ene lee ye nyi mfiri mu nsem da mo agina mu abesinne nti mo madwuma pa no na yeso ye tietia amanam so ye de ne ye wo focus ni rainbow ba ye to amo ha no ye hu se mo ye adwuma mu odin timi aka ha for good no yankopon hyiram eva emane meme nyina se de meka no etia wo bia na na me nua be ma obrempon ka bibi se ade Mr. Mahama ono nko ani nyansani anase de na nani abre na nini so ka se Moya, your best ya the not so. Ada omure fi asam sefia. Mahama say my first school type pay 28. Was say I cannot take decision by myself. Obrin portrait to her. Now when ni papa ti many kwan so refi. Was say when him die di nyansa a won wa de be take decision. Abu mine. And what do you expect from that man and this president? What do you expect from him? What can't to her? One can say Ghana for was short memory. And the Ghana for I didn't do one Jimmy Sano minus the papa party for no. One more imagine more and so dorsal. It didn't want to refuse. I will sacrifice pay by a yen to Abba syndrome. Nankan Tissa say Yentia teachers a cat, Yentia necessary cat, ye do my 3 years do mama pencil. Na papa we ya be catch on some what they say automatic posting bar. Na we ni agine mu ha obekwa akoto aba ma papa we. Na nka papa we mutira de mfie miensa we ni agine mu ha enko obeka catch on licensure exams me ma wonya bim oba ye sika kura na eje mo no obetum 50%. Ene de ya na Ghana for no refi. My first school guitar when it's up 2018 na waka say ohu krasti nia ne bad what do no ye ne mobo na ne classmate bi na so papa yem krasti fo omo donti ne nsem na chem wo do mama ne kan wo wi abeka so ye kuani amu omo magine mu ha aginedi adam nim sa papa we ye frakadam mo nim sa papa we on kan okre na wasa kan maybe confidence abo wo se politics die wo kan okra kakra no chatro kakra ye de frafra papa we kasa asem we kirewa wo da keteni sumiye so asem prejudice abesala so koto abama so ye MPP ni so ye NDC ni so ye hwahwo eno ada no ho pataku ada ne ho Ghana ni wo beto abama sa papa we dia ye ne nsem a waka to ho na accountability na ya na ni kan no short memory syndrome. Who account for Bibia and Kawomu via Ghana sika egu prison wabeja womu ejina court wabeja womu say we interested for their case womu kro no mabo. Okay. Sami Jamfia waboka $1.7 billion obi kura chanyom de krasa amanu gu nani mu asemoyi. Sami Jamfi mra parliament meyin semano wo ya accountability no wo de ba ho sa for hene oso ma ne nko. And then that mo womo so ye demonstration say yentua womo ka be bia say na wutimi tam 10 billion said na you obrin podcast say economy no nko ana obetimi asese na economy no wasese anka ye fake $10 billion me say just $2 billion for Sino Hydro asantima ye japade $2 billion yenya interchanges bako 7 film. Wouldn't dear $10 billion betimi aye e Ghana. Na me chira pa baba biaka say sa part mienu ni nyina de yenyi wo mum frint ensinten de me nuaba menim se abufuo na ade kan ye na wo wunim se bako ye papa sne paako because me no me anu ti abrochire he ye mako school free. But part be the free education ba one the oil sika one said no na was so the bebe Ghana for no ye another party man can say many countries I your mama dano I try anya ye yes ye try anya ye ma wo mu sa lie because the free education is for one na me no me enu ya who is President Akufo-Addo within 9 months for ye ya who is ambulance na NDC for crime tontra near there to force in Jira court no MPP buy ya the ambulance papa buy ya who is Akufo-Addo na ensure na say now office for the first time wakati wo bianfa ne nema wunsre ensure na niti ye hu tire kwan and the western region tire kwan ye tutu ama na daniam na de ye galam say ye hu agenda 111 ya yankoje bosia ne de Ghana taxes na ye hu teachers and nurses allowances ye restore ye hu you covid that the whole world ye manage ye ne etoso me yensa ye hu tani na gina so you can compare apples to oranges. When you ma papa one people interoperability drones. What do you mean na? And think I say you peer woman to say do only ye ɛna yɛde ne gyina wɔ ko ano wonim so sɛ MPP ɛnim yɛ na me nua abufuo nti na ade kan
I'm so I you quickly na yɛn my muso
Mr. Valentine ma chibi na chese ya na ya rehusem chese ya na me ka wo frɛ Ghana nsɛm na aya na times ya na ebi muti krom ha pa nyame se yɛn ka ne korɛ ya kata yani na yɛte yɛn ka ne korɛ on ka ne korɛ sɛ no korɛ da ho aka ne korɛ se krom ha sɛ yɛ maya yɛ no omutie wontimi ntwantro nkyerɛ krom ha akola ani da hwɛ na no Benada no opanyini mafo bɛyɛ program ɛma ɔbaaya ni yɛ ka galamsey ya ana nyankopɔn adom yɛhwehwɛ video no ɛne yɛde kɔma a opanyini mafo no ɔbɔɔyɛ malam ɛwɔ radio yi so ɛbɛka sɛ wɔgye ni ɛfrɛ ɛne yɛbɛgye akyinye ɛntɔnkyɛn ɛnra ɛyi nso so agyeman bɛyɛ program ɛne yɛde galamsey ya bɛka ho asɛm nti yɛbɛka galamsey ho asɛm yi ana malam sabaye ɔse yɛ ne AI ameyɛ yɛ amantimi enwuram ana nka mebɛka kyerɛ ne sɛ Mr. Valentine ɔte krom ha no wɔdi sɛbio na adwene mu ɛdɔ papa ɔmfiti prɛko pɛ ɛmɛbɔ ɔyɛ ne research ansa na ɔde aba Mr. Valentine nim sɛ adeɛ wɔ AI ɔmɛbɔ no radio yi so ma yɛntie da enti no Mr. Mahama na ɛyɛ mu president no papa no wonya de papa bia odisi Ghana for arɛ bebre enso so ko beti krom ha ne sɛ yɛ bada se yɛ bɛka yɛ asɛm a na wo mo so so abɛfi ase abɛti akyire papa no onya we de AI for ɛyi na yɛbɔ AI sɛ papa na ne no masɛm hɔ na kra papa ɛyi papa yi sɔfo agyeman yi so yɛ sɔfo ayi agyeman yi sɛ yɛ frɛ ne sɛ me refi ne din agyeman ɔbɛka sɛ si papa yi ɔbɛka ya no ɔka galamsey ho asɛm
ɔpɔn
no Mr. Opon one time on radio yi so te sɛ deɛ me te sɛ me asɛm ne ba wote hɔ a no wakoma yɛ wo ya
okay
sɛ ɔman pa nipa tim pa asɔfofoɔ tim animdifoɔ wom hwɛ na anu sɛ hwɛ mobi ansa ayi Accra radio nanu se de agene nsɛm ɔno ase nanti ayi market ya yebubuni a jese yesi jese ɔno kra ka sɛ kufo do ɔno ɔmpɛ na asɛm so wɔkun sɛ osi market bi wɔ baabi a na jese akaka kra bi se yɛ sɛ yebubuni dia bɛ 24 hours ayi market na nyansa bɛ pa ne wɔ mu sɛ ɔmo nyina etena se ehun sɛ ɛnoma na ɔmo yɛ ne kurom hɔ no bibia ne hɔ a ɛkɔ so enti sɛ ba na sɛ yɛ eti kurom ha na ya ha no ye din yo omu bu amemwo papa because ha wote ya wonya hospital papa ko o mako school papa na ba bia wo fire enti de bia enti na ya na me ba radio yi so me bompa ye me ka se ye bompa ye makro ya yetimu because they say kro ya yetimu emu ani ya ye ya yetimu nyina ye mobo na kro ye di ya ye man so so ye wo program no se ba bia wo fire no enti papa bia ni ho enti be sabalanta nyame nhyiraw na de kwo so na de dade de nyina da ayi no radio yi no audio so na wo ye toto ho na enu akra wo bo bisa me gya mfinwum na ya ama no no ne nyina go internet so ko Facebook bo
yenda se pa
enti nyame nhyiraw me da se
thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Jeffrey,
yes, sir, boss. You, but that's it. And then, almost for one say, the Bia Mecatcher say, yeah, or radio swear, Nessa Mobecana, yeah, or you know, quick literature. Who buy you was such a woman with no condolences. If it was a bosom, omu, mipum, omu, more assassin to destroy or be destroyed. No, boss, usually your mama also mean, or say a maple, or say you, or say India. And he, who oppose Mombiano. Umbiano, a friend say, was for all young mamma, what in your say, Galamsey in Emma Isica. Emma, boys, Nejumay, until the Oyai, until destroy nature. No, I also was some voices in nature, destroy nature. Nature will come back and bite you. Okay, well, I can say. That's it. Now, no make I say, your mama is scammer. Me more back up if you never could be me back over. Abante na Obagana na Otutu good or scam for your trying to say.
Brante.
Oh, no, but to talk go for good in a manima or go for your music.
No, Ghanaian.
Oh, we're feeling this here. Oh, what you gonna need?
Oh, okay.
I will go see them away and cry in the office. No, people go down for teaching Kofusi Castle or you go there, away be affinity. Oh, also be affinity.
Be affinity. Oh, Mamma Kai.
Some medium visit can pay time. Some medium visits on the draw within 1 year. On be tree again and you be as up one again, Mr. Biamano. Be as up one, Mr. Kudi, be between the Sicamano.
Okay.
I feel Nano, your friend say, finance minister say, only the only baby office carefully they could just uncle for no car. Now, so who Unimiansana so work invest to Sika. That was a scam a you more. You only a bit here.
Okay, Namwana.
Huh?
Namwana, okay.
One. Good. Madam, I say.
Okay.
Submit a fit radio station. Emma, oh, be beside say. Oh, see.
There's a men's good as I'm
victims no come. So, bit you have within 1 year. Make my make us all. You bow within 1 year, you would see all me on Obiana once. The second could in a month will be within 1 year, you get the car. I finish in you, will be like a place from home.
Okay.
Now, last one. We see your mom make a cut sword. I could see car park. Dear Moy and Semano. Hey, could see the whole naval base. Oh, Western region. A whole naval base. So, I'm not for you for Jeffrey and to Abamano. Na car park.
Yeah, Jeffrey. Every your time, 2 minutes.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, 2 minutes, Yanko.
Yo, one time that's my mincha, Madame Melanie, and young Mabacassi. So, here Ghana, your money, any mammy idea. Say, and penny for is so I cry, almost I say, Omu Yare, any Abine, Amen in Yasem. It is a woo of some for you, Obia Tum unlawfully, Salame to me on Lacano. Now, Obi or didn't assassin more be so could be a cobe. No, near Kone de Akoya Galamsi. Net yet in Aquatuma, when near G, say I didn't aquatum. Because, or I can or new party, etino when yaji. All right. As I waka and never read you see, you be keep. Now, Setebo need a tenia, maybe see ya, you ever knew about the Kafahons. And like Domahama at classes and bills, Mako, edu, including Draconia Cocoa Bill and a tribunal. Fine. Meaning, I made that one tribunal because Omoka be saying, any so general Holman, only in one diary. That tribunal was signing out what being also the dinko for any. Yeah, come what you want to say, and Kusiaga. No one, young woman, I didn't have a day, about a year, I'm telling you today. And now, Ghana, never know Kwame Kraka. And Ghana, oh, here, bro, the Nipa 56.4 are living in poverty. Oh, yeah. Woman 2024, you go for a type, they are 25.9%. Nature say, we a Nipa a dubia, and I say, we a Nipa 100 bia, a 25, and then a poverty line.
Okay.
And then we Nipa 100, a 56, and all poverty line. When you are Memo Papa. A Memo Papa, who Jahanoma, who to me you so 13 billion for about 18 months, 13 billion. That is sustaining city. Say city need you know okay, mommy. Now, on $1 name more for name on what Bob is 17 billion Ghana cities. They to my phobica. What is the sense in these things that you think you are doing?
Okay.
And never know Casas is here.
Hey, seconds, you uncle, so for now.
Mahama, a good father 1D, 1F, or here was Savalugu, I have friend an offshore apparel limited. And then why am I could just saw the more Eddie Dia to so I was a logo. Like a coup for the 60% completion, and then Oka could be another Wako Cassette or no year. Well, my woman sanity, Yamako like it 133 billion Ghana cedis said. Fanafa Koto Gold. Opi onye Jumata, only job experience, only she, Otam no Koyan CEO, and not got to 133 billion. At the end of toy and gold or toy the Common Bank of Ghana for not toiling 128 billion Ghana cedis, 85 billion, 5.3 billion. I can ever.
That I see. All right. Carefully,
Yadao Yamiase. So I do Yadao Yamiase said, wash your soul. Yadao Yamiase.
The news, the interviews, and what have you, all packed and ready to go on your favorite radio station, Hot Digital Online.
Hallelujah, praise God. Asada, enka onyame. Anano paya obetie me. Yenyina yankamum ewo Jesus dimu na yamfa onyankopon. Na seda emano. Chrono ma yati ase se ebre bia yeda onyankopon ase no. Na ye ben onyankopon ni fie. Hallelujah. Na ye ben babia onyankopon owo. Enti ya de aseda emano na ya de ayeye amano ayeye tweben ewrade. Hallelujah. Okano wanase muse otenema ayeye mu. Hallelujah. Enti sabre yi wo Yesu di mu ye na onyame ase wahwe ye so waboye ho ban. Ye sori ye enti asemboni bia enkwa ewe ye mu.